Welcome to day 2 of the TitanX conference. A little bit of a hiccup there with StreamYard. But yeah, how's it going, guys?
Oh, what's going on? Jake,
Good.
we got
We
you
did,
to start.
Yeah, we did a little warm up yesterday, 12 hours, just get the muscles going. And now we can do the real
12
stream.
hours. You were
Slow
saying
stream.
that you had to go and do some devon after you got off the stream, that your workday was only starting. Were you actually having to go and do more stuff, were you?
Yeah, but then I just crashed. I just crashed. I put my head on the pillow. I'm like, I'm gonna lay down for a second, and then I was gone.
And then you woke up tomorrow.
That's the way to do it. I know. Even after 3.5, 4 hours yesterday, I was exhausted. It was quite intense. There's a lot of information. You're trying to keep up with everything. There's a lot of alpha to take in as well. You can't just sit here idle. You've got to be learning yourself. So yeah. What did you think? What did you think of the first day yesterday? I think we had about 4,000 people tune in at one stage. Maybe 40 odd speakers yesterday. A resounding success. How did you find it?
Mo, go first.
Mo.
I was waiting on you because I wasn't going to interrupt for once. It was great. I think we talked about it on the earlier part of the stream we got off, but I don't know if it did. But I was super psyched to have the two ladies on the stream yesterday. That gave a different energy and a different vibe that we haven't had before. And it was awesome. It was just totally great to see that happen. And I want to see more of it. So I hope we're going to see more. I know we got more ladies in the community. So maybe we can get an all-female stream at some point. That would be absolutely legit.
That would be
I'm
legit.
excited about everything. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, Jake, you seemed to love the numerology section yesterday. You were like,
Oh, yeah.
More, I want more. Jay Gold did a great job explaining some of the numerology stuff. I know you build it into all the protocols, and I know a lot of the builders all try to do the same. They try to use a lot of this numerology stuff. It goes over my head, but you were really loving that yesterday.
Oh man, yeah. I didn't want the numerology section to stop. I was writing. I was like, I want more Jay Gold. God damn it. Because I love it. 'Cause the way he speaks as well is like very harmonious. You get like in trance almost.
I was in a trance.
I took a few screenshots of your big smiling face during that just to keep them. So day 2 today, we're going to follow pretty much the same format as yesterday. The Accelerate team have taken over the first 3 hours here today. Then we're going to have Steve DeFi and his team back on we're going to have a break between the 2 sections just to give everybody time to go and tune in to the weekly Twitter space, Plan A and Mike Dean. And we don't want to take the limelight away from those guys. They've been putting the work in, week out over on Twitter. So I think it's just kind of, a great idea that we all switch off for an hour here on stream and go and listen to the guys doing the weekly spaces. And then back on here, Steve DeFi and his team will be on, and then Smooth and Crypto will be taking over the last 3 hours then after that. So pretty much the same format, different panels, plenty of different people, plenty of different speakers, and lots of different topics to cover again today. Did you get a good night's sleep, Mo, did you?
Hey, we sleep in 2026. Let's fucking go. I'm not worried about sleep right now.
I love his glasses. It's like genuine cool Mo.
It's genuine. I can't keep my eyes open, Mo. So we're rocking the sunglasses. You don't see how dead to the world I am.
What else from yesterday stood out for you guys? Anything else in particular?
Well, the numerology one really got me. That's why I let him talk.
100%. The numerology one was big, but then the other big one was just general camaraderie across the builders. All the builders were on. We were all talking, vibing, talking about each other's stuff. That is so cool to see. I think if you're an outsider and you're looking at the community and you see all the builders and founders like talking to each other, hyping each other up, talking about the future, etc. I think that should build a lot of like belief in the future. Because if we're working together like this now, just imagine what it's going to be like once we have 50, 100 builders. Which is kind of like, that's exponential curves.
Yeah. Did we get any new holders? Did the holder count go up at all yesterday? I didn't look
yet. A lot. So when we started,
it was a good day yesterday.
Yeah, when we started the stream, it was roughly 18,030. Now we're at 18,179. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
for
that
a
is
day's work.
a good one. Yeah, there was somebody saying yesterday we should just leave the stream running forever. There's one person come on after another. There's probably enough people and enough, like you say, camaraderie to actually make that happen. You know, there is a group over on Pulse Chain that kind of just do that with their Twitter spaces. They have a Twitter space open all the time. One co-host comes in after the previous one. A lot of work, but yeah, it would be good for adoption possibly. Although Steve DeFi had an idea as
I did
well.
want to give it.
Go ahead.
My bad. I thought you were something. I was going to say I want to give a shout out to the TA section at the end. That was actually really interesting. I was off screen most of the time, just staring, eating it up. That was like a little class section for me. It was awesome.
I was, I was in bed by that stage. Was that the verse giving his technical analysis on some of the ecosystem coins?
Yep. Yeah, it was really good.
Sweet. Okay. Well, we'll
What's
bring
the
up our
panels?
first. Go ahead.
What's the panels for today? Like the topics?
What are we-
TitanX, that's the topic.
Yeah, obviously the first topic here that we're going to discuss today is mainly just TitanX, the sort of what is so strong within TitanX. I've got a range of different topics here that we can discuss. But we want to we'll bring up our first guest, get into our first panel. Callum, Bad Sports, you coming on to join in here too?
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, Callum.
Yep.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, doing great.
Oh,
So
he's got the sunglasses too. I like it.
yeah, he's got the sunglasses, hats, and beards. I have none of the above.
Yeah, next time you got to
well,
have one of.
welcome to the stream, Callum. You know, you've burst onto the TitanX scene in a flurry of streaming, building, tweeting. You're doing a great job. How did you decide to? How did you find TitanX, and what made you decide to start building?
Yeah, so it was literally a 30-second clip. Like, it was the smallest clip ever, and it just briefly said, "This is a new project. You should check it out." And it was Carl Chase, the guy that spoke about it, and he just said he was talking about Jake, and he was like, "This guy seems like." He wasn't even talking about the project. He was just saying, "This guy Jake seems like he knows what he's doing. I would go and check it out." And I was like, "All right, I'll go check it out." And I've just been investing here and there in the sidelines, and I thought, you know what, I've got this idea. Let's start building. I think this is going to be a really unique opportunity that I want to take advantage of. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, did you watch most of the conference yesterday?
I caught bits and pieces, but I mean, it was so long. It was so long.
Yeah, I know.
I missed
Hey, don't tell me.
I missed the numerology bit.
On that, it's really important that anybody watching. There was a lot of talk about community yesterday, and everybody pulling their weight and working for their bags and adding value, all this kind of stuff. So if there was any parts of yesterday that you watched, I would recommend plead to people to go and start clipping some of the stuff from yesterday. Like Callum said, 12 hours is a lot of content. It's a lot of talking. And there was so much great stuff within that. And I already know some of the builders and some of the streamers from yesterday are already on clipping their favorite parts. But if you want to help add something to the marketing of this wonderful ecosystem, do feel free to go onto YouTube from yesterday, take a few clips from any parts of the show that you particularly liked and share them out on Twitter. There was just so much alpha yesterday, and it is difficult to pinpoint the best parts of yesterday. So I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing what people actually put out and what clips get picked out from the whole 12 hours yesterday. Is that the first time you've done a 12-hour stream, Jake?
Yep, 100%. Yeah, the community, because I think the longest one I did was like 8 hours or whatever. But it's important with these big streams that the community gets together and clips them up so we can share them all over Twitter. You can post them on Twitter, you can post them on YouTube, then other people are going to take them, they're going to post them on TikTok, etc. Because somebody needs to put in the effort to make the clips, and then the clips are very easy to turn into shorts and stuff. Because I've seen people do that all over the place. So the community is picking up the streams that we're doing, they're cutting out the alpha pieces, posting it as clips, and other people are taking the clips, they're doing shorts with it. This is community marketing, man. We are the marketing department.
Yeah. So, Callum, what is? Do you want to give us a quick, not get into the details? Do you want to give us a quick overview of what it is you're building?
Yeah, sure. So, put simply, it's going to be a hybrid sort of TitanX and Vault. It's going to have a stake in Blaze, Flux, and TitanX, and the rewards it gets from that is going to be split between maintaining the stakes and fueling the Phoenix buy and burn. So when the Phoenix buy and burn is triggered, it's going to buy Phoenix off the market and split that 50-50. 50% of it is burnt, 50% of it goes to an auction balance. Starting after the mint base, the auction balance is going to be auctioned off 2.5% a day, and hopefully that keeps growing, and there'll be 4 different streams of incomes coming in to Phoenix to fuel the buy and burn. So hopefully it will get really deflationary.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even for somebody like me that's chatting to people all the time in the community, you kind of come out of nowhere. I couldn't believe it that you know, you bounced on the scene with a couple of YouTube streams, and then next thing you've got a project, not even just a white paper. The thing's almost built and ready for audit. It just did anybody in particular help you sort of pull this together, or you know, because it's no mean feat to, you know, for a young guy like yourself to be able to pull all this together. You know, did you reach out to community members? What did you do to actually make this happen? Because I haven't done it myself. It's very, very difficult, especially the first time you do it.
Yeah, definitely huge shout out to Mike Dean. He's been the most useful person I could possibly. Without him, it would just be an idea in my head still. I reached out to him with the idea, and he helped me tweak it bits here and there, and then he connected me with other people. I spoke to Steve, and then from there it's just grown. He gave me the good connections. So for me, I've had a very unique position, and it's been much easier than I think someone starting out. But I think I'd give a message to anyone looking to build or stream. It's not as difficult as you think. Like, everyone's really supportive, and if you've got a good idea that's unique and you think can add value to TitanX, I think you should just go for it, because now is the time. We're about to hit hyper deflationary, and this is like a once in a lifetime, I think, opportunity. So take it.
Yeah, well said.
This is important for new people, because a lot of people have ideas for building, but they don't know where to start. Start by reaching out to people in the community. They're all happy to talk. And if you have an actual genuine idea, they're happy to help. If you're just kicking the tires, and then you're kind of like, you feel like you have an idea, but you can't even word the idea. Because even with Callum, we did a stream together, and then in the back room, like, hey, you want to talk about Phoenix? And he came out, and he was already starting building. We tweaked a little bit of the game theory to make it a little bit better. Phoenix is a cool idea. So it's essentially but it's the hyperdeflationary protocol built on top of Inferno that uses 3 different stakes to buy and burn itself, similar to DragonX, but instead the stakes are based on Flux, TitanX, Blaze. So that's the income source that buy and burn Phoenix. As it buy and burns, it routes through Inferno. It's built within the Inferno kind of section of TitanX. And it has a perpetual auction. It's very innovative. So people should follow his path and just start reaching out to people, talk, and then you'll make the connections. You'll find your developer team. I think he's working with Accelerate in the background.
No, not Accelerate. It's Decentra. So if you go to decentra.com, that's the people that I'm working with, basically.
Yeah. So we have a bunch of development teams that are specializing in build on TitanX. So Decentra is one, Accelerate is one, Eric's team is another one. We have all of these existing developers that have done stuff in the ecosystem that has been secured, that want to build more. It's cool, man. We're building our own little builder infrastructure around it. So cool.
Yeah, so there were a few things we'll talk about. The first panel here, we just want to kind of get into a bit more detail about TitanX. Hopefully, we've got a few new people tuning in to catch up. So, you know, community strength is kind of one of the biggest things that we've got. You know, we talked about it a lot yesterday, but it really cannot be ignored as one of the biggest things that's happening, is that just the community pulling together. You know, passionate people that are really, just like Callum there, you know, they're coming up with ideas and people wanting to add value. Has anybody got anything to say? Sort of, we've got 10 quick topics to kind of cover, and community strength. Anybody want to hit on, you know, what they feel about the strength of the community in TitanX?
I mean, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
It's unmatched. It's unmatched. I mean, tell me any community that's like this anywhere in crypto. I mean, this is an entire ecosystem that's building itself symbiotically, so that everybody benefits everybody, in that you're all working towards the same goal. I mean, I've never run into this in crypto where everybody's on the same path. I mean, yeah, everyone's got their same everyone has their individual goals, but we're all on the same path of burning as much TitanX as possible and removing it off the market. And to see us go through these variations, and now where we are at this new iteration where all the protocols that come out that are accepted are completely symbiotic to another protocol, let alone the overall ecosystem itself. Yeah, this community is absolutely unmatched. The amount of builders we have coming out of our own community, just absolutely wild. I was excited to see like more streamers come up, and then the first new streamer comes up is a builder. Yeah, I'm the same way, where he pulled me on stream. He's like, "Hey, can we talk afterwards?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "Hey, here's a polished 99% done. Like, I'm ready. Let's just put it through the ringer and let's get it done." And I was like, "Holy crap, where did this kid come from?" This is our community. This is the power of the community we have, and it's absolutely amazing. That's what I think.
And I would just like to add on top of that, it's honestly, in my experience, it's been so good. I've just reached out to everyone. I haven't had any bad experiences. Like when I reached out to Mo, he was just like, "Yeah, sure, let's do a stream." Reached out to Jake, he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Everyone is so positive and helpful because we all have the same goals. And I think the reason we're seeing so much on Twitter and so many green circles and everyone talk about it is everyone's excited. No one's getting paid to do that. Everyone's just excited and they know where we're going. So yeah, I'm just excited to be a part of it for sure.
Yeah, in fact, one of my favorite clips from yesterday would have been Jake shouting "fuck the KOLs." there was a few great clips. Community, grassroots, organic growth, and just people working together hard. Sharing each other's content. Things like clipping tweets. Or clipping YouTube streams, all that kind of stuff. Everybody stepping up and doing their part. It really is one of the things that's setting us apart from a lot of what else is out there. Okay, innovative tokenomics is another thing. The ideas that the builders are coming up with. It's not just not just I'll come up with an idea, I'll throw it out. The tokenomics that are just getting improved on every time. Now you've touched on this many times in the past, Jake, that you tried to set an ethos from the start, a builder ethos. There's core principles within, and then the builders are you took all the best parts of some from projects that you liked, and the builders are all taking that sort of same train of thought and always looking at what has worked in the past and worked even within our own ecosystem and making changes to it and trying to improve again and again. And we are seeing it happen as the ecosystem grows. So anybody want to mention anything on innovative tokenomics within the TitanX ecosystem? Go for it, Mo.
No, I'm pointing up and I'm pointing to the left. These guys.
Go ahead, tell them.
Oh, yeah, I'll go first. Yeah, sure. I think the way I see it is because before, even when we had the stream, when I had my stream with Jake, he was like, "I can't believe what DragonX has done." When it came on and I had this idea and he was like, "Wow, this is so unique." And I think we're just seeing that as more builders come in, that's just going to be like exponential and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. And everyone's kind of taking good ideas here and there and developing them. And I think we're going to reach this pinnacle where we just get it right. Like we've only been going for a year. Imagine bear market of everyone building, everything adding up to just something absolutely crazy. Like 1 year and we've seen this much happen. We've seen Vault come out and just take over. We've seen DragonX. We've seen everything. And I think, yeah, give it another year, 2 more years. It's just going to be more and more innovation. And I'm just, it's really exciting to see.
100%.
Go on, Jake, say something.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a bunch of builders learning from each other because, like Callum was mentioning with DragonX, I didn't see DragonX coming from a mile away. Eric just all of a sudden like, "Oh yeah, I'm launching this DragonX thing." I'm like, "Wait, what the fuck? Where did this come from?" And then I was like, "Damn, that's actually a genius idea." I love the idea, and I'm like, "Damn, this is what you get when you put a bunch of like bright minds together that have different backgrounds. They come up to different conclusions, and now everybody's just taking the best ideas. Like even Ouroboros, it took Liquidity, which is one of the biggest decentralized lending platforms on Ethereum. He tweaked it, made it way better. He didn't lazy for the code. He made it way better, made it specifically for our ecosystem because people are tired of unfair, corrupt, shadow figure, insider, VC, dump machine tokens and ecosystems that they don't even want to build on it. They just want to look at it. Okay, what are they building? How can we bring it back to home? How can we bring it back to our community? Fair, grassroots, built from the ground up, self-incentivized, self-organized. So people are just taking the best it is from everywhere and figuring out, okay, how can we incorporate this within our home, which is TitanX and build on TitanX. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of inspiration from the builders.
When you look back, DragonX, the thing about we're talking, tokenomics and innovation, TitanX was so simple. Such a simple idea, such a simple protocol. Even like, you know, it didn't even need a Mike Dean schematic diagram to explain it. It was that simple. So you don't need to.
And people still didn't get it. The simplest fucking thing, and people still didn't get it and funded it for 7 weeks. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. So
Hey, can I ask you a question, Jake? In the very beginning, like I knew you had a vision for building TitanX. Did you think you were going to have almost? I mean, are we past 20 now? How many protocols we have now live? Yeah. What was your timeline? Were you like, maybe in 2 years I'll have 20? Now we're.
I expected it to come from TitanX doing well and builders getting more well funded through being in the ecosystem and being put into like better financial situations when it comes to crypto. But the amount of builders is just unseen. Even the mastermind, I didn't expect so many builders to come out of the mastermind. There was no conversation about building on TitanX, and all of a sudden they self-organize, and now we have this Blaze monster and all the little monsters operating within the ecosystem. Man, like that came out of nowhere. Because even like Blaze took like 7 months ish to build, and now it's like you guys like split up a little bit, and you're still working together, but everybody's building their own protocol. That has been like it's you know, like you have these like little grenades where when the grenade drops, it drops like all these little smaller grenades. That's like the Blaze team. So well, we're doing this, and then
cluster bomb.
Yep, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, the mastermind
right there.
The mastermind, it was quite surprising. There wasn't, you're right, there wasn't much chat in the mastermind about building. But the thing is with the mastermind, it was, you know yourself in there, kind of the same as many people in crypto. You just get obsessed. It takes over your life. So there was many people in there that just saw opportunity. A lot of business people in there, entrepreneurs in there, people that had a bit of money behind them as well to go and fund building and stuff like that. And I think that did help. Once I think the biggest part of it came from the early success. You know, the adoption of TitanX at the start. As soon as it kicked off at the beginning, everybody was like, right, because there was like let's be honest, we were in the bear market, and it was taking a long time to come. You know, a lot of people had been through a lot of pain. We didn't know whether TitanX was going to be a success or not. You know, not everybody had unwavering belief at the start, but once they seen the adoption and seen the amount of miners that could start it, everybody was like, whoa, there's an opportunity here. We better get our fingers out of our asses and do something. There's a wave to ride here.
100%.
Yeah.
Because that's the cool thing. Once you have the community and once you have the users, there's no limit really. Because everybody wants community, everybody wants users. And then the cool thing about our ecosystem is the moment you build, instant support, instant marketing, instant streaming, instant people want to support your protocol, instant people talk about it. Like that usually takes like months or years to build, and you need to start paying people to do it. And this is just default. And even now, you'll be able to be included into farms. You'll be included into lending protocols, multi-collateral lending protocols. Like this, it's just becoming better and better for future builders to join. It's so good.
And Colin, what's your favorite tokenomic you've seen so far, or your favorite little aspect of a project that's been released so far? Is there anything that stands out?
Has to be TitanX. That is because I love the sustainability and longevity of it, because no matter what, it's pretty much going to have majority stake of TitanX. And if you're bullish on TitanX and you think that's going to survive in the future, then you should be bullish on TitanX. And I really like the sustainable nature of some of these projects, that you can look really long term and know that they're still going to be there chugging along as long as TitanX is still around. That's what I really like and what I look to invest in. I have more of like a long term mindset. That's what I prefer, longevity for sure.
Yeah, see, on that, I mean, just in terms of that, I'll throw this in. We never really talk much about Blaze. You know, it's kind of like the one of the original projects that didn't take off and get really, really big adoption at the start, and it was kind of difficult for it to gain steam after that. But Blaze is one of these little powerhouses just working away in the background. The thing works flawlessly. I know Mo's got his Blaze hat on. The people that did actually come into Blaze at the start and participate heavily have always historically done very, very well from the stake and payouts and Blaze. And that was, again, you know, it feels like it feels like such a long time ago, like a distant life that whenever we were launching Blaze. But yeah, it's still, when you talk about longevity, those auctions still close out the market value pretty much every single day. There's hardly a day goes by when the auctions don't get utilized there's enough comes into the auctions to close out the market value. And that again is one of the things that, again, Volt took a lot of inspiration from Blaze and tried to improve on it as well. And that's just a perfect example of, Steve DeFi taking an idea and something was already built and seeing what worked within it and tried to improve it again.
Blaze is only 3.8 months old.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. We were so, like, yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, sorry. My days get mixed up so much these days. But we were talking about Awesome X. It hadn't even come to its third mint cycle, and it was only 12 days old. But it felt like it was months and months and months ago that it actually launched. It's just how quickly. I think probably it comes from these 18, 19-hour days that everybody's doing. That a day feels like a week.
100%.
Hey, let's go back to Blaze for 1 second, because that protocol still isn't quite understood. The power of that protocol in the staking is allowing me to pull a partial salary every 8 days. Like, that's just what, like Jake was talking about how his girlfriend's got like a salary from farming. Yeah, I got a partial salary going from farming. I got a partial salary going from Blaze. I mean, like, the things in this ecosystem are just amazing if you really sit down and really study it. There's some amazing opportunities here.
When it comes to like the DeFi playground, already there's just like so many places that you can go, and you can on a daily basis do little small plays for a quick gain here and there. You can jump into a lot of, obviously, your mining protocols for long term, but there are opportunities in the ecosystem every single day. It is like it's a DeFi enthusiast's wet dream, basically, what we've got going on, and it's just getting bigger.
Yeah, I think before I could understand everything and keep my head on top of everything, and I could try and find the best plays. But now there's just too much going on. You see something show up and you're like, oh, fuck, why did I miss that? I forgot that even existed. And then that's just happening all over. And yeah, I think that's just going to keep expanding as more people come. I do have one question. Do you guys think there's a situation where there's so many projects that don't add too much value? So there's more quantity over quality. And how do you think we kind of force the quality?
I'll give a quick answer on that. My take is that it doesn't really matter, because anything that's not good will fall away very, very quickly.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it has to be that way, but it is a reality. The more gets built, the better for everybody. And just anything that's not high quality or doesn't do what it, if it doesn't make people money, it's going to fall away very quickly.
That's a very good point.
I think it's good also because with the size that we are now, you can't just put anything out there and have people just clamoring to dump their TitanX into it. People are getting picky. So, there's a lot of really good protocols. If you're going to come out and make a protocol and you think people are going to dump their TitanX into it, it's going to have to be good. It's going to have to be quality. Now that you're coming behind the curve, you need to come up with some quality stuff. And so, yeah,
everybody promo and everything.
I know. I'm talking about for the future. Everything's coming out so far is legit, but everyone who's missed the boat and hasn't made anything yet, what you're gonna create is gonna have to be really good, because you're gonna have to fight with all the stuff that's already been made and is awesome. So what you're saying, Callum, will it be too much? Nah. Will people launch things that don't necessarily do too well because they don't make an awesome product? Yeah, 100%. But that's the meritocracy of the entire thing, is that if someone makes something that's crap, most people aren't going to go into it, and it'll just fall by the wayside, and you won't have to worry about it. But the cream will rise to the top, and as we go forward, I can't wait to see what the new biggest protocol of any month is going to be. What the new record is in a day. It's going to be awesome to watch. But are we going to have a problem with too many? No, because the best part about this system is that everything is being built in a symbiotic way, and you can't stress that enough, because that's not the way it is in every other ecosystem. It's make something and drain everybody else. And it's just this toxic green candle chasing world. And here you don't have chase green candles. You have green candles in almost every protocol, and it's just amazing. So
it's crazy how good everything's doing, and we haven't even hit any like. I remember a few months ago when all of the crypto market was like euphoric and everything was going up. That's going to happen again very soon, and that's going to send Ethereum up. And then TitanX has been performing this well without any of that going on, which I just can't wait for.
Yeah,
we're in 5 zeros and a 1. I'm already euphoric. Sorry.
Are you? We haven't even got started yet.
We're 5 zeros and 1, man. You can't FUD me from here on out. I sent a message. I was like, enough of the DMs on the FUD DMs. Like, I'm done. No more. I'm just deleting it straight out. Like, come on. Everything we've been through, people.
Who's still FUDding TitanX? That's what I want to know.
You ready? 6 green days, making you thousands of dollars. 1 red day. 4 FUD DMs. Is it FUD now? It's all going to end. Like, oh, God. Yeah, it's people are emotional, man. 1 red day, the sky's falling. No, it's good.
What do you think about the too many builds, Jake?
I don't think you can ever have too many builds, because even on Ethereum, Ethereum has value because people are constantly trying to innovate on the chain. So nobody complains about something new launching on Ethereum because it's beneficial towards Ethereum. And if somebody comes up with a better idea, the market will automatically adopt a better idea. So I don't think that ever is too much building, because you can get innovation from everywhere. Like Element 280 came along, it's like, holy shit, that's interesting. Like nobody thought of that before. So like every build brings on a new idea, and that new idea might just spark the next part of the ecosystem or something that drags up everything, like Element 280. So I don't think you can ever have too much building.
Yeah, so kind of on the next point, partnerships, and within the ecosystem. It's sort of not specifically, maybe it's not specifically partnerships, but just we talk about this all the time. Builders working together, the TitanX used to participate in a certain project. They will take percentages of that and send it to the DragonX Vault, for instance. It'll burn TitanX. People will send some money to the Helios Treasury, just all trying to add a little bit of value to everybody else. And that just came from people wanting to give acknowledgement to other builders and say, here, look, we appreciate what you're doing. This little bit will hopefully help you do something new with your protocol. It'll help your users. But what do you think about that aspect of the sort of partnerships and builders helping each other? I'll ask you first, Callum, because you've obviously had to come in, see what's going on, pick somewhere to build, and then when you've picked somewhere to build, there's going to have been a thought process as to why you would pick to build within the Inferno Kingdom, and why you would pick to distribute your TitanX the way you did, where you chose to stake and pick certain products or projects to align with. So that must have been part of your thought process, was it?
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking on TitanX Hub and I was like, where's the opportunity here? And I was looking at Blaze, and then obviously Flux came out, and that's all part of the Inferno kind of ecosystem. So it just makes sense to build on top of that. I think there are these like core kingdoms coming out, and if you build on top of it, you're kind of benefiting everything there. But yeah, there's no like animosity between anyone, is there? It's really, really good. All builders are so helpful. I mean, yeah, I've reached out to many builders and everyone's just positive, giving advice. So yeah, as long as we can keep this energy the same, I think it's going to be awesome for the future for sure.
On that as well, looking for there's no way, Jake, surely you didn't actually see builders starting to do that. When you started pushing the narrative, build on TitanX, surely there's no way you could have seen builders collaborating in the way that they are, or did you?
No. Nah, it's just the builders are very smart people. So we all ended up coming to the same conclusion of it's better to build around some core thing other than having everything completely detached from each other. Because then you push up the entire ecosystem that you're part of just by supporting that one thing. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it kind of self-organized like that. That's what you get when you have a bunch of smart people. Now, if you have a bunch of dumb people, then you just have a bunch of dumb shit everywhere. Because we're smart, you just have a bunch of smart shit everywhere, which is this kind of like core kingdoms and stuff forming around it. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, although I did see today, this morning on Twitter, the first actual I don't know whether you would call it a scam or whatever, but I did see somebody using all the TitanX narratives to build something within the TitanX ecosystem. Never heard of the account before. There's a brand new Telegram and all that stuff. That stuff will start to filter in without doubt over time. But it's just wanted to point it out that I'm already seeing that the leeches. The leeches are coming.
I mean, it depends. If it's within the ethos, you can have a bunch of new people pop up. If it's within the ethos, it'll get support. If it's not, then it's just kind of like die by the wayside, essentially. But if it's ethos and we don't know they exist yet, all they need to do is stream and then we're off to the races. If it's within the ethos.
What is the ethos?
Hey.
So the ethos is essentially input token TitanX, burn a percentage of TitanX, pair with TitanX and ELP or one of the core of the ecosystem. So it's IBSLP. So input token TitanX, meaning that it's a fair launch. You use TitanX to create your token. BSL is burn, stake, or lock a percentage of TitanX. And then P is pair with TitanX or a TitanX ecosystem asset. If you do that, and also like when you do integrate Ethereum in your protocol, use the Ethereum to buy back TitanX, like Hyper does, like Pulsar does, like etc. Use the Ethereum to buy back TitanX. That's basically the ethos. As long as it supports the core, it supports everything. IBSLP rule is kind of like the simplest way we found to explain it. But this is the cool thing. Like I am a big proponent of missionaries over mercenaries. Mercenaries are people from the outside that come in and just want to use our ecosystem to try and skyrocket their ecosystem because they want to steal our users, they want to steal our marketing, they want to steal our exposure to then drain the economic energy to their thing. That's a mercenary. A missionary is somebody that comes from, essentially, they come into the ecosystem, they engage in the ecosystem, they like what they're seeing, they watch a bunch of streams, they like the people, and they're like, okay, I want to build here. That's a missionary. And then they follow it in the ethos essentially by default because they want to support the thing that they like so much. So like as long as you have missionaries over mercenaries and builders coming from inside out instead of outside in, I think we'll always be good. It's the mercenaries that we have to be very, very vigilant of.
Yeah, and I think many people that are here are obviously pretty DeFi savvy, and they'll be able to see the vampire attacks that are there. They should be able to see them from a distance, maybe, and hopefully people won't engage. But yeah, like you say, if they follow the core principles, we're fair to everybody. We have been fair to everybody so far. I don't see any reason that would change within the ecosystem at all.
Jake, what do you think about projects maybe supporting? So obviously Hyper is a huge TitanX burner, and there's this whole other kind of kingdom being formed around that. Obviously that doesn't exactly meet the ethos, but by supporting Hyper, it kind of does. Do you still think that's...
Yeah,
it
does. It has been the ethos because they're still using TitanX as the input token, and they're still paired with TitanX because Hyper is paired with TitanX. And then if it pushes up Hyper, all the Ethereum ends up buying TitanX back anyway and burning 20% of what it buys. Like Hyper has burned, like hardcore burned 6.2 trillion TitanX. That's a lot. So that will be an interesting kind of like kingdom to see build out. That's like 3 things building on top of it now. Definitely going to be interesting to see, but it's still within the ethos.
What's your favorite?
You kind of, when you mentioned how smart the builders are in the system, I kind of expected to see. How do I say this without?
Spit it out, Mo. Spit it out.
I expected maybe lazy builders, because I've been in other ecosystems, and I expected, I was like, what are they going to do? Maybe I find 2 or 3 variations on the buy and burn, and then they're going to be done. No, like these guys are really innovating over here, thinking every possible way to do things and then how to make it better. Like every new protocol is a new iteration of another idea, and you can't overstate enough how important it is to have all these intelligent builders. And having such an unintelligent person talking about it doesn't help at all. So, my bad.
Wait, I've got a question. I've got a question for Jake then. As you've seen all this innovation and all these new things come off, is there anything, if you could go back, is there anything you would change about TitanX at its core?
Interesting question.
Probably not. Because the reason TitanX was so big is because everybody got a fair shot at getting a fair distribution of the supply. Could you have created a better shot? Yes, but then everybody would have been left behind. Because I could do the average chart where you just, hey, here's a token, buy it off the liquidity, and if you're 5 minutes later, fuck you. But that's not how you build a community. You build a community by giving everybody a fair chance at getting a large percentage of the supply, so then they can build on top of it because they believe it's fair and it's community owned. Because, like, for example, when you build for a VC thing, 95% of the value that you're accruing towards your users is actually going towards the VC. The dudes you don't see behind the scenes that will dump on your people anyway. So 95% of your work goes towards the people that will ruin everything you're a part of anyway. So the fact that it's community owned, it's fair, it's fairly distributed. The TitanX supply is massively fairly distributed. I love it. Like when you look at the holders, almost 25% of the top 100 is smart contracts. Then you have the one Genesis wallet, which will never hit market. That's just to support the TitanX protocols. And then everything from down there, it's like one guy owes 2% because he went in with a lot of money. He fairly got his supply. And then all the other ones was like 1%. And then everything is below 1%. It's so fairly distributed. It's community owned. It's community built. It's community created and owned. Every token was minted by a community member. So could it have a better chart? Yes, but then we would not have a community, and build on TitanX would not be a thing.
Yeah,
and even like
right.
the T rank bonuses,
left behind, yeah,
100%. Like for example, if you come in as a builder and you're like, oh nice, I need to buy this thing 1,000x higher than the guy that was a week earlier than me, I'm not going to build on this thing. Like, what do I have to gain out of this? I'm just feeding these guys. So like the fair opportunity and the fair ethos and the DNA is what got so many builders that want to support it. And then the T-rank bonuses, there was a lot of talk about the T-rank bonuses at the start, but it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to bolster network adoption by essentially rewarding people to bring other people into the network, talk about it. So it did exactly what it was designed to do, the T-rank bonuses. I don't think I would change anything. I think it's beautiful. Even the staking payouts, there is an argument of like, what if you just make it 100% buy and burn? But then we wouldn't have DragonX and all this wouldn't have kicked off.
Yeah,
it's like it's all.
If anybody in the chat if anybody in the chat has something they want to comment that they would like to have seen different, put it in the comments, please. Because I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything at all. That it's just been a nice, steady, gradual change, and most of what we've seen so far has been pretty freaking awesome, to be honest.
I think it's
and then all
good.
the cool.
Sorry, go on.
And then all the cool charts. You just build it on top of TitanX. Just wait for fucking Shogun, man. Like Shogun is gonna shock people. Like I'm fucking excited for Shogun.
Yeah, it was almost good that we had those months where it kind of crashed down because it shook out all of the. I mean, there's a lot of fun and stuff, but the real believers stayed, and now we're seeing them build, and they're the ones that are being rewarded for actually seeing the vision, kind of thing. So yeah, I don't think
I just had a vision of a bunch of campers starving around a campfire. That's the early days. The true believers were still there, getting a little bit of warmth. We're still here.
On that as well, we were part of the eco. We were building Blaze, and I do actually like talking about this because our resolve was tested as well. We were putting money into this, and we were the ones, we were the ones participating early days at maybe some, and we're having to sit and watch the chart go down. You had $1 million worth of miners that didn't end up anywhere near $1 million, and put a lot of money, a lot of effort in, and like Mike Dean and Plan A talking about their spaces, and 13 people turning up one week, and all this is going on. So our resolve was really freaking tested. The 8 of the Blaze team. We had meetings probably that 2-3 times a week to discuss everything, and there was one stage we were going, right, fuck, what are we going to do here? Is there any point in launching this fucking thing? We get this, and it was like, right, well, we've come this far. It's either knuckle down and get behind it, or don't. So we all decided that let's go ahead with the plan, stick with it. But it's just all this stuff doesn't happen for no reason. People decide to put the effort in, and it takes that. It takes, like it took you, Jake, to stick to your plans and not waver in any way. Same for Eric. It took him to stick to his plans. It took Blaze to stick to their plans. Dude was working his ass off. So all these, it didn't just cut it all this stuff that's happening now. Didn't happen overnight without people having a lot of doubt a lot of different times.
Matt, you bring up a great point because the builders never gave up. They were basically like, fuck your FUD, I believe in this. Watch. That was kind of like the whole mindset of the builders. I love it.
Yeah.
I think most people like investors probably had that some doubt, maybe because the pure amount of FUD. If you're seeing so much negative energy towards something, you're like, shit. Like I remember even me, I was thinking, okay, the maths works, everything works, and I would go anywhere to like ask questions or whatever. There'd just be a lot of FUD. And I remember thinking, like, in my head, it's like difficult to think that you're always right when everyone's saying you're wrong. But I want to ask Jake, is there any part of your mind that ever had any doubt or any?
No, zero.
No, zero.
The one
Okay.
thing that kind of shook me a little bit
That's
was
fucked
hearing
up.
you guys talk about maybe we shouldn't build on Titan. Because I remember I was talking to you guys, I'm like almost talking you guys off the cliff. I was like, no, you know.
Don't
Yeah.
go. Please.
No, but I fucking believe, man. Like I've seen this play out. I've ran all the simulations, and at some point it got so irrational that all of the buy and burns was bigger than the market cap, and the future market cap of TitanX was almost twice the size. And I was like, people are irrational. They're all wrong. They're wrong. I'm right. And I just stuck to my guns. And guess what? I was right. Because I built the damn thing. I know how this shit works, you know?
Hey, that's a good way to lead in. Think about in the beginning when you found out about TitanX, that first message, or someone says, look into this, or you watch that video, like Callum says, and you checked it out. But you checked out 1 million in that time period. What was the reason that made TitanX stay in your head? What was the reason why it moved past? Well, I see this video. Maybe I actually am going to look into it. And I'll tell you what it was for me. The math. The fucking math. We said trust the math the whole time.
Yeah.
And here you are. The math.
I think for me it was honestly the streams and the white paper video. Like I just remember if I had any doubt, I'd rewatch streams or rewatch the white paper. And any doubt I had in my mind, I was like, okay, yeah, why am I thinking this way? I need to shift it. I think that's what attracted me as well. Because yeah, Jake, you're definitely a very good salesperson. You can, through the videos, you can speak like very articulate and make it very clear to people why they should stay. And I think that's what made me be like, okay, I want to commit to this. Yeah.
I mean, communication is definitely the most important skill. Because yeah, if you have a great idea and you can't communicate it, then nobody else knows it's a great idea, so it's not a great idea. It's like communication is a massive part of it.
Oh, here, that's a beautiful things just come into my head thinking about that. All right. How did it feel having, and I understand why, but obviously whenever we were going through the hard time and everybody was quiet, all the FUD was there and you were nowhere to be seen. And you got a lot of stick for that. Whereas this motherfucker, how did it feel to be able to, because I know it's tough. I can imagine it was tough. You want to say something, you want to stick up for your project, you want to say, you want to come out and fight the idiots, the naysayers. How did it feel to actually sit in the background and have to just let it all play out?
Man, I knew I had to step away for a little bit, and it was hard, man. Every 5 minutes, I would pull up Twitter and fucking start typing. Yeah, but I'm like, okay, I'm not posting. Yeah, exactly. Draft. But the thing is, you needed to shake up period, because at one point it was so irrational that I was like, okay, now we just need to get the true believers, like people that trust the math, trust the code. The only way to get them to stay is by them trusting the math, trusting the code, not trusting me. And so I withdraw myself for like a good 2 to 3 weeks. And then we had the I'm Back stream with Blaze, the Blaze Weekly. Because I knew TitanX needed 280 days to form itself. And then the real fun starts after hyperdeflation. So like between day 180 and day 280-ish, I knew I just had to step down. Like now we just need to get the true believers to believe. And the only way to get them out is by getting the last form of like, okay, I'm going to stick around because of Jake. That needed to be gone. Because you needed to trust the man. And that's how you get the final shakeout that you needed before day 280. Yeah, it was hard, man. Every 5 minutes on Twitter, I'm like, nah, I can't post it. I can't post it.
Because the
you
first
type
while,
them out and then be like, delete.
Yep.
The first while I was like, oh, I can't believe he needs to get out in front. And then after a while, I kind of realized, okay, no, this needs to be done. You can see clearly that it did need to happen. Security and trust. We'll move on to quick touch on security and trust. There is a lot of security, a lot of focus on security with the builders. And then there is a lot of trust as well built up in the community, between builders, between community. Anybody got any takes on those couple of things within the ecosystem, security and trust? Mo.
I talked too much already.
I would definitely say go on Mike Dean's page. He pushes it a lot. Security. At the end of the day, you are responsible. Your key is your crypto. So if you're making good gains in TitanX, just remember there's always a security risk there. People have been scammed, and I think you have to make sure that's a high priority, because it's good to see nice numbers on the screen, but it could all just be taken away very quickly if you don't take the security seriously.
I'd love to see some sort of vote in the chat of who actually, in fact, if you comment if you have a hardware wallet or not, say yes or no in the chat. If you actually have a hardware wallet and you've got your security organized, if anybody wants to come in and say no, they can personally DM me and I'll help you get set up with your ledger or your Trezor and keep all your crypto gains safe.
Send your seed words to Ali. Keep him safe.
Yeah. Only if you've been in the ecosystem for a while. I don't want to be wasting my time and putting 24 words for somebody holding a couple of shit coins.
Yeah, and obviously be careful.
It's surprising how many people in this deep into DeFi still don't have hardware wallets. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, hardware wallet. The main thing hardware wallets do is that it just protects your seed word from your device. As long as your device is safe and you isolate everything, you don't really need a hardware wallet, but it's really good for beginners. And if you're not a developer and shit and you don't understand and you just use your computer for other stuff, like a hardware wallet is a godsend for those people. Like, so hardware wallet, everybody should have one. If you're not a developer and you don't understand any of this shit, get a hardware wallet. Seriously.
I feel like somebody
can get hacked in so many ways.
Yeah, I feel like somebody's just created that username to
hacked into your account. Ali, you're not taking your security. You're not taking it seriously.
Paddy the Irishman, take a look at the top 10 TitanX holder wallets live and calculate what each will be worth at 1 billion market cap.
I actually don't like doing this.
You can't do online math.
Find a way. No, because then people will start footing themselves out. It's always like that, because then they look at the holders and like, oh, this guy has so much. But what they don't realize is that guy, if you put in 10K, there's people that put in $1 million into miners. They took the same risk as you did with bigger amounts, and they operated under the same rules. They didn't get any extra bonuses. It's the same rules for everybody. So, like, I don't like pocket watching other people's wallets, because then people just get into this like negative spiral in their head. I'm like, oh, what is this hams? What is this hams? And they have no idea who's behind the wallet. They have no idea what they're doing. And a lot of these, like I've noticed in TitanX, a lot of the big wallets, because we had a big shakeout like 90 days ago-ish, all of the big wallets are very, very responsible. They'll do like slow 1% profit every like couple days or whatever, whenever they want to like shave off a little bit. They do single-side LP positions. Like, we have very well-educated whales. They know how to support a chart while they like take a profit or whatever they want to do. A lot of them are going into farms now. Like, I've seen a lot of whales. They take like profit over a period of like 3 to 4 weeks, trim off a little bit every day depending on the volume, and then they go into like the TitanX Adapt Ethereum pair. So I've seen a lot of like very responsible whale behavior, and I think that's because we educate a lot in the community, because there's like a whole Titans of LP chat that talks about like single side exiting, etc., etc. Yeah, because the moment you start pocket watching people, that's when you fudge yourself out, because in every single thing in the world there is a whale, and there is somebody with a lot of money in it, and they still do fine. There's somebody that holds probably $1 billion or $10 billion of Nvidia stock, and Nvidia stock still did a 300x. So people will always find a way to fud them out. But yeah, I don't like pocket watching, because it just puts your mind down the wrong paths and you don't know what these people do. And usually they're very, very responsible, because you don't become a whale by acting like an idiot.
I think, for crypto, you should come to your own conclusions. For anything you want to do, just come to your own conclusions. Don't take advice from anyone, especially streamers, because all streamers can have like narratives or ideas in their head. But like last bull run, I remember everyone was saying Bitcoin's going to 100K. And I was like, yeah, there's no way. But then I watched about, I don't know, 100 videos all saying the same thing. And I was like, this must be it. And then obviously Bitcoin crashes. So definitely just stick to your plan, have it in your head. And that's all you should really be focusing on, as long as you have a good idea and education about what's going on, I reckon.
And when you're talking about security, I have a separate laptop for my crypto. I have a separate desktop for my streaming. But more than that, like, you want to know how compartmentalized they are? the crypto laptop, I'm not logged in on Google. I'm not logged in on anything. That laptop doesn't know it's me. Like there's nothing to ever connect it to me. There's no email on there. It's just crypto. I will not. I've even buried the internet icons. I won't allow myself to surf on it. The only reason I'm popping up is to get on to Uniswap or to one of our dApps. That's it. I do not. I literally won't touch anything else.
Yeah, man, I'm the same. I like literally send if I'm going to interact with anything, even our own dApps. I'll just the wallet interact, and then whenever you get any gains or whatever, send it back to the safe haven. Yeah, smart to keep everything separate. Anything else? Yeah, anything else on security? Were you going to ask something there, Callum?
I was just going to ask, what do you think is the best laptop to use? Obviously, Jake, Mac. I know you've said Mac, yeah, but is there a cheaper alternative for people out there that maybe can't afford $5K?
I
don't use a Mac.
Everything. And then bought. I remember whenever I signed up the GX Mastermind, he said get a separate laptop, and I bought another laptop for like $300-400, and it was the worst decision I ever made. That's just maybe me being an old git, but yeah, shortly after went out and bought another MacBook to keep my crypto on as well.
Yeah, just buy a cheap MacBook Air because Windows, there's a lot of backdoors on Windows, man. Like Windows is actually there's so many security loopholes on Windows. At least with Mac, you have to give permission to everything. Like if something wants access to your files, you have to give it permission to access your files. They don't just randomly get like admin permissions across your computer. With Windows, it does. Like Windows, you just install something and it by default has almost all access to all of your files. Like Windows is so unsafe. And I learned this during developing. All the developers use Mac as well because it has also the best developer tooling, etc. But also because of the security feature. Like Mac is very secure. I love Mac. Mac is amazing.
So Jake, do you just have like 3 MacBooks, one for streaming, one for like just normal, and one for crypto?
Yeah,
you just have like
and then all over. yeah, 100%, and then all over the place. Yep.
So there's a comment in there explain cold wallets to the newbies. Anybody want to pick that one up?
Yeah. So essentially, what a cold wallet is just a cold wallet is something that. So you can have a MetaMask that is a cold wallet if it doesn't touch any dApps. Then it's essentially still a cold wallet. It becomes a hot wallet once you touch dApps and you start connecting it to stuff and start interacting with stuff. A cold wallet becomes a hot wallet once it has permissions and approvals on it. So like a hardware wallet is not by default a cold wallet. If you do have a hardware wallet and you make approvals on the hardware wallet, it turns from a cold wallet to a hot wallet. So it's just whatever you have approvals on and whatever you're interacting with something with, that becomes a hot wallet. And then a cold wallet is just, hey, the coins are here, nothing touches it, there's no approvals, there's no permissions, there's nothing. That's a cold wallet. So I separate that from software wallets and hardware wallets.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you guys think there'll be a situation, with what's the really advanced computer software?
Quantum.
Yeah. Do you think there's a situation because they talk about that can hack into wallets and stuff? Do you think that's ever going to happen, or do you think they're just going to be able to?
Well, they already have solutions for that they can implement extra cryptographic protections against quantum.
Yeah,
but that's been the topic since like 2017.
Yeah, it's like a big black swan for Bitcoin, isn't it? Because if someone could get into like Satoshi's wallet, I mean, there's billions there.
Quantum is still, there are quantum computers, but they do the most basic shit. Like they're still figuring out how it actually works and how atoms can be in like 2 positions at the same time. They still have to build everything around it. But there's already a lot of talk about protections that can be built relatively easy into blockchains.
Yeah, I think if a hacker got his hands on something like that, that would be.
Well, they wouldn't know how to use it unless they rolled it and built it. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Well, you're showing off your ledgers there. Mo, do you use your 25th seed? Do you use the 21st seed word or the secret phrases? Do you go that far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm paranoid, and I have through mistakes of my own and not in crypto, I have lost a large chunk of money in life to a mistake and not taking time. And so I've taken that lesson into crypto. And I try and go as slow as possible, and every possible security measure there is, I take it.
Do you know what? I'll say this as well. I'll throw this out there as well. Yesterday, I was sitting in my parents' house and I had to make a quick transaction. I wanted to mint some awesome X yesterday. and I've created a few. So one of my wallets, I've created a few duplicates, so it has like 5. This was from frickin' Zen days when I was creating multiple wallets, and I accidentally yesterday. This is how easy it is to do. Like, and you're talking about taking your time. I instead of clicking the original number 1 wallet, I clicked like the number 5 because it was the first one on the list. I just seen the first name and I thought just clicked it, and then I went back to the other wallet to just look and see was it there or to watch it arrive to use it, and it never turned up. And I was waiting and waiting. It's going, oh fuck. So I had to get up and go. I had to get up out of the seat, walk out into the hallway, walk up and down a few times, going, "What the fuck have I just done? How the fuck could I be so stupid?" And I was like, "You know what? It can't. That can't be right. It can't. I couldn't have done something. I thought I'd sent it to the TitanX contract address. I was going, no, that can't have happened anyway. But so I went back in and sat down for a minute when I knew that it couldn't have happened, and then I ended up realizing that I'd sent it that I clicked the wrong wallet and sent it there. But I'm just bringing that up as an example of why it's important to not only learn what you're doing, but even at any stage, just take your time. You know, that was only a few $1,000s or whatever, but it's easy to click a wrong button, and it's so easy. You know, nobody's going to help you when these things go wrong. You know, one
100%. Like one of the rules I follow is if I have to do it quickly, I don't do it. Like, for example, if I'm out, I the only place I ever touch crypto is on a crypto device that is built specifically for that. I don't have anything on my phone. I don't have anything on like the laptops that I do other shit with, like developing and streaming, etc. If I have to do something quickly, or I feel like I have to do it quickly, I just slow down. I'm like, okay, I need to wait until I have my setup, etc. I never have any hot wallets. I don't use my phone for anything. Like, I've always done that because, like, if you're in crypto for a while, like, we're not talking about small amounts. You're sending big chunks of money around, and then you're like, okay, waiting an extra 1 hour to move around 100 grand is probably worth it instead of losing it, you know? So I'm like, okay, I have everything calm, quadruple check everything, 5 times check everything, double check the contract addresses, go to Etherscan, put it in, wherever you're sending it. Oh, yeah, this is the right one. Never copy from your transaction history, otherwise you get address poisoned. Always make sure you copy it directly from the source that you got it from, either that's your own wallet or whatever. But never go to Etherscan for anything. Don't copy anything off of Etherscan. Just copy the address that you want to do, then go on Etherscan, Control F, Control V, and see if it's the address that you want to send it to, but never copy from the transaction history. Because that's when you get address poisons, because people send similar addresses, money to you, and then you copy that one, and then you basically send to a hacker. That's called address poisoning. But a lot of people don't actually need to be worried about getting hacked in crypto, because essentially all hacks are user error. It's you fucking something up. You going to the wrong DApp, you're sending to the wrong address. That's how people get hacked. There's not like a magical Russian hacker sitting somewhere hacking into your wallet. That never happens. Like 99.999% of the time, it's user error, and then the other percentage is just like bridge hacks or whatever. I don't like bridges at all. I never use bridges. If I want to bridge somewhere, I use either ChangeNow.io or centralized exchanges to bridge from chain to chain. I hate bridges.
Yeah, I remember in the depths of the bear market when my portfolio was just going down and down and down. I had like $10,000 DAI sitting on Phantom, and the bridge that I could used to send it over to Phantom got hacked. And I was like, you know, just going, this crypto just can't get any worse. Like, I've got stables and they're not even safe.
Yep, and that's why X28 is built on layer 0, because layer 0, even if layer 0 gets hacked, it doesn't matter. You still have your tokens. Because there's no bridges, no smart contract that can get hacked and can drain your money. Like, layer 0 actually has a really good design. But like, just general bridges where your tokens go into a bridge and then come out the other side, if that shit gets hacked, all your money is gone. Bridges are the thing that has lost the most money in crypto. Bridges, and then insecure DEX protocols, which is why everything's built on Uniswap in the TitanX ecosystem, because at least we know it works. Uniswap works. It's as bulletproof as you can get. $2.7 trillion has ran through it, 0 hacks. So use bulletproof stuff. Never play around with new DEXs, like all of that stuff. I don't touch it. Just bulletproof stuff. It's worth the extra effort.
Yeah, you say a lot. You say these things a lot, you know, and many people. I mean, you're saying about using Uniswap. I know, and just it's maybe worth having a little bit of a discussion here, because I know for a fact that be a lot of people in the chat that would disagree with that, and they do use things like Kyber Swap, Cow Swap. What's your take on on other other decks? Go ahead.
Kuiper Swap got hacked, so I don't trust that one at all. It got hacked in the past. Cow Swap is
But
cool.
it has DJing mode.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. You're DJing your money away, you know. So with Cow Swap is pretty good. Even Vitalik uses Cow Swap, so Cow Swap is pretty good. Uniswap is pretty good. Anything other than that, fuck off. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do say you can get better deals, better routings through other sites and stuff. But yeah, I tend not to really vary too far from Uniswap, just because all the TitanX, because everybody's pools are on Uniswap. So I don't even really bother going around sniffing for a few extra dollars here or there. Whenever I'm interacting with a lot of our TitanX tokens. CowSwap is the GOAT, somebody says. Kflow, Llama Swap. Yeah, I don't want to start mentioning a load of different dexes. Okay, we're actually coming to close to the end of our first hour. Callum, future roadmap for TitanX. I suppose just want to ask you, in fairness, what are you looking forward to in the next month or two, and when are you planning to launch Phoenix?
Yeah, so that's definitely what I'm looking forward to, Phoenix for sure. That should be November. I mean, hopefully it's going to be early, but it probably will be more likely mid. And I would prefer to take my time to make sure that everything's perfect. So probably mid-November. But I'm also excited for all the pillars to be launched around that time as well, because I think that's going to be crazy. We're gonna enter hyperdeflationary. No more TitanX is going to come out, and then all these 8 or it might even be 11 projects of the pillar now.
I think the last I seen it was 10.
10. Okay, yeah. So all of them. So the Viper's coming first on the 8th, I think, of November. And then a week later, I'm pretty sure Steve said he wants to launch everything at once. So this is going to be like a crazy frenzy where, well, who knows? But I think it's just going to be crazy. November is going to be an absolutely crazy month. And then, yeah, more projects are going to come out. And I think there's so many builders that haven't even announced that they're building yet. I think it's just, we're going to see the list of new builds slowly grow and grow and grow. I mean, it's already huge now. I think there's 20 plus projects that we're waiting on, and they're probably going to come out in the next month or two. So yeah, I'm just excited for everything to launch, all the TitanX to run out, and us to just have the craziest supply shock of all time, hopefully.
Yeah, the TitanX to run out.
I mean, this is crazy. It's already running out. Did you know liquid supply has dropped down to 20.21%? It was at 21.4 2 days ago. It dropped 1.2%.
Yeah, what's that from? What's taking that?
A bunch of stuff. So Pulsar and Lotus. Pulsar still has not been added to the tracking, but there's like 100 billion plus TitanX there. So that's like 100 billion less that you actually have to calculate. I'll code it after the stream. But Lotus was just added. Yeah, Lotus took a bunch.
And it's only going to take a few more, and then you can release X28, which is completely done, right? You're just doing the audits and waiting for the perfect time. Yeah. I mean, if that isn't bullish that you just have that in your back pocket waiting, I don't know.
Shogun, baby.
Shogun.
I'm going to have 9 more months of Shogun, one Shogun tweets.
Have you started?
Anybody that wants to get out? Huh? Yeah. No. So Shogun is. Yeah, we haven't started development yet, but I'm 85% done with the game theory. I have a very, very good idea of how I'm going to build it now. Because I've just been thinking every second I have free time that I'm not marketing like a madman, I'm working on Shogun. Yeah, but if Shogun might beat X28 when it comes to burning, but it's going to be a close battle. Like, Shogun is sick.
So you talked about this piston in the stream, I think, yesterday. So it's going to be a constant burner. Can you kind of talk more about that, or is it?
Yeah, so with the piston, Pulsar came up with a great idea, and they call it the pistons. Essentially, when you have Pulsar will always be 8-to-1 TitanX, so it will always track the TitanX price. So when you build on top of Pulsar, you essentially have the same price performance as TitanX, because that's the ARP ceiling. That infrastructure thing, if you build something on top of that and you route by so for example, with Shogun, what you could have is Shogun will be paired with all the hyperdeflationary assets in the ecosystem. Probably literally everything. Literally everything in the ecosystem will have a pair with Shogun. But then the buy and burn will actually route through, for example, Pulsar or another infrastructure thing that we're building. It will probably use Pulsar anyway as well. But every time the ARP ceiling breaks, people ARB, and as they do that, all the TitanX that goes in gets burned. So every buy will break that ARB, which will essentially constantly trigger the piston to burn TitanX supply. And that's not even counting the 20% burn that Shogun does by default. That's just an extra thing by routing the buy through that. But then you can have Shogun TitanX as a main tick liquidity pair, so that when it routes buy value through Pulsar, it doesn't sell Pulsar back down as people like take the profits or whatever. They go back into the TitanX pool. So you get just free orb pressure on Pulsar without selling it back down. That will constantly trigger the piston to burn supply, and then Shogun will burn 20%. And Shogun will also have a form of perpetual auctions, but differently done than Volt. Volt will also be built on top of Shogun. Steve already confirmed that. Yeah, Shogun you might see some fucking insane shit. If you like that supply number, say bye-bye after Shogun. Just bye-bye.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to watch just how that quickly those stats have started to change recently on TitanX, and just all these projects coming out, the numbers just dwindling away.
Oh man, it's just disappearing. And this is what mine is still coming out until November 8th. So like, it's going down with that. So hyperdeflation is gonna hit people like a ton of bricks. Like literally just a ton of bricks straight to the dome, baby. Like it's gonna be so crazy.
Yeah, I mean the list on TitanX Hub of upcoming projects, I think there's over 20 there at the minute. 10 of them are the Volt pillars, but even in Accelerate, we've got 5 current builds going on at the minute, and none of them are even listed on the upcoming projects on TitanX Hub. So we've 5 to add to that in the next few weeks. All different kingdoms.
Are there some being built on Inferno, or is it most, like you said, Awesome X as well?
Yeah,
nice.
Awesome X, Dragon X, and Inferno. And then we're doing all those guys again. These aren't my ideas. They're not my projects. They're other community members building, and they have their own take on where they want to send their TitanX allocations. What parts they want. Part of it is everybody's got they want to help their own bags too, and they've got maybe heavier on one part of the ecosystem, and they want to send some more help over that way. So yeah, exciting times. But look, that's the end of our first panel for the day. Thanks you 3 guys for filling in the last hour. One more exciting chat, and on to the next one.
In a vast digital realm where neon dreams collide, a luminous orb emerged, TitanX, a star reborn in synthetic wonder. The journey began with the Great Token Burn, where miners tossed tokens into green flames, turning scarcity into shimmering value. Next came the Staking Challenge, a colossal mountain demanding commitment, revealing breathtaking vistas for the brave. In a dazzling coliseum, developers became gladiators, igniting the air with beams of light for each accepted project. At last, TitanX stood tall, a beacon of resilience, thriving in a federation of digital realms, transforming the cold expanse of the internet into a vibrant tapestry for all who dared to dream.
All who dared to dream. Who are we giving credit to for creating that video, Josh?
Yeah, these are all from Young Stunner. So he's been putting out all this content that we've been playing all yesterday. He's working right now. He's going to start churning them out through the day so we can have some fresh content. But yeah, man, absolute legend. If you want anything making, just hit him up. He's super busy. I think he's doing videos and animations for at least 3 or 4 teams at the minute. So, but yeah, hit him up. I'm sure he'll be happy to help out.
Hell yeah. Yeah, his stuff is good, man. I love it.
Oh, yes. Look, Scotty, welcome to the show, to the conference day 2. Larry, Utah, Scotty Blaze. How you doing, Larry?
Wait, you're muted.
Yeah. That's the best way. Keep the mute on. Keep it muted.
It's the best place for him.
He walked into that
one. He's still talking.
Oh, no, I was muted, so I was trying to behave and pre-mute everything. But oh yeah, no, I guess I'm saying that I've got my Blaze people here. Like during the back time, I'm always hanging out in the back rooms and talking with my Blaze people, Mr. Scotty, Utah, all the rest. Goddamn good people. That's what I love. Goddamn good people. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, Utah. How's it going?
It's going great, man. How are you guys?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Glad to have you on today.
Yeah, glad to be here as always. Excited to speak with Callum because this kid, I like his way of thinking. Let's just say that, right?
Thank you.
You know,
Appreciate
Utah.
that.
I never see Utah's face on stream, so I just imagine him as a cowboy, just a great beard, cowboy, with his like little profile picture.
The old bull. The old bull.
Yep.
You've seen me before, though, in
I
the
think so, yeah, but I'm
mastermind.
trying to base it. Yep, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to base it off your profile picture because you look like a
Yeah.
cowboy, just with a little hat there.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of a redneck over here. You know how we do it in Utah. We like our trucks high. We like our guns. You know how we do it.
That's right. You got the hole over in Moab. Don't lie to me.
I don't even know what that is. Scotty Blaze, how's it going?
Right, if you go through Moab, there's a bar in the middle of a hole in a giant wall. It's called the Hole. It's a
Fair
Utah
enough.
thing, but apparently he ran away. You talk about his hole and he just runs.
He's going for the hole.
That's right.
Scotty Blaze, how's it going?
What's happening, buddy? It's going all right, mate. It's going good. Just come back from coaching my lads' football team to an 11-1 loss, so we're all in good mood about that. So it's been great.
11-1. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, all right, mate. All right.
Poor kids. Poor kids.
No participation no participation trophies.
That's right.
No, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh well, never mind. There's always next week.
That's right. Otherwise, you get American football instead of we call it the Le Soccer.
Hey, before we jump into anything there, Ali, I just want to say to Jake, fair fucking play, man. 12 hours on stream yesterday. Incredible.
Light work, baby.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, yeah, you just don't see it. There's no founders, or creators of an ecosystem out there doing this. So yeah, fair play, man. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed, Burners, how the hell did you keep going? I know Audi King did one a few weeks ago, 12 hours. I was honestly getting to the end of 4 hours. I was exhausted. It's tough work. Nootropics, is that what keeps you going, or just just energy?
Nootropics and just vibes, man. Just operate on vibes.
Nicotine gum.
Vibes
Don't lie.
good.
Nicotine gum.
Nicotine and
methylene blue.
trampolines. Nice. Yeah, it was really good. It was just like super cool to watch everyone. Like I was in the back end for like the whole day, and so I kind of got to enjoy most of it in as a viewer as well. So it was actually, yeah, everyone absolutely smashed it. Like it was a brilliant day. So I'm looking forward to today. It's going to be good.
Were you? Did you enjoy it being backstage all day yesterday, or were you itching to get up and get talking to people, or were you happy just sitting, pressing the buttons?
Yeah, actually, it was kind of it's quite good fun. Sort of just managing everyone's movements and hunting people down that wasn't responding, figuring out where they was and trying to get them up and just keep everything flowing. So yeah, I enjoyed it actually, and yeah, just being part of it was good. Yeah, historic moments.
Yeah, pretty much everybody that was supposed to turn up yesterday did turn up, which probably made the job a little bit easier.
Yeah, no, it's good. I was due to speak a few times yesterday, and then my route was down for 28 hours.
Did you fix your box?
Yeah, it just randomly came back on about an hour before we went live today. Perfect.
It was just trying to keep you in line. That's what it is. It always keeps you in line, naughty ports.
Yeah, 28 hours it was down for, which I thought was quite interesting.
Twos and eights again. So look, we're going to get into the future green circles. That's kind of another thing within the TitanX ecosystem that kind of just came from another really, really simple idea. We talk all the time about the strength of the community and all that, but something just so simple. Jake, do you want to even give us a wee intro as to where it even came from, where the idea came from for these green circles?
Well, it's just marketing. Like with green circles, it sticks out on Twitter. It sticks out on light mode. It sticks out on dark mode. It's something that you see. People ask questions because when you just see a green circle, it's like, okay, a green circle. But then if you see 3 green circles, you're like, what the hell is this thing? Why does everybody have a green circle? Like it's one of the best, because even like back in the advertising days, this is kind of off topic, but I'll bring it back. I'll do the Trump weave, you know? Border, immigration, green circles. So with the green circles in advertising, you would increase your click-through rate percentage on ads by adding different color borders, by adding different like black and white, high contrast, more color saturation, etc. So I was like, okay, how can we bring this into crypto? And that's where this idea for the green circles came from. So I coded up the green circle thing on the TitanX website, and I was like, everybody needs to do the green circles, because if you do one green circle, it doesn't matter. When you see 3 green circles, damn, this is interesting. 8, 12, 20, 28, you're like, fuck, I can't ignore this anymore. My Twitter is just green at this point. Yeah. So like, it's amazing. It's a great community tool. It's a great marketing tool. It shows, and it's also built to attract builders. Because like, for example, if you're a builder and you're like, hey, should I build on TitanX ecosystem? And all of a sudden you see your notifications blow up with like green circles. That's an instant show of support. And like, damn, there's actual real people here. Like the green circles do a lot. I love the green circles.
Yeah, there was obviously everybody. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, no, where I see it have the most benefit is when you're in an X Spaces, and it's just literally just row after row after row of green circles. So you like, you know, you can go into sort of a speaker outside of the ecosystem, and if you bring in the community with you, they're just going to see all these green circles in the spaces, and like you say, they're going to go, what the hell? Who are all these people? And then it just naturally starts people's minds thinking, and like, you know, where are these guys coming from? So the spaces is great, and like we're gonna have a space session today. Actually, we're gonna stream it through here, so we won't close this down. So we're all gonna go jump in the spaces, get our green circles out. So yeah, man, I think it's great. And did you have any, like, was it something that you came up with, or did you have any sort of, did you see anyone else doing this in any other parts of business or anything like that?
Yeah, so I've seen it in a couple places. This was often done on Facebook, like during the Facebook marketing days, and I've seen it over on Pulsechain. Pulsechain also did it. And other than that, there was only like the 2 big ones. There was also like a white circle, but that didn't last too long. So this was used all across marketing for a while. Like a profile picture, like on Facebook, you could go to your edit profile picture and you could put like these random circles around it for like, hey, I support cancer, I support this, or like whatever. So it's been a marketing idea for a while, but I've never seen anybody actually like hard push it. Like, hey, this is important for the community. Because like, it's cool to have an idea, but you need to get people on board with the idea to make it powerful. It's like the green circle thing, like green circle supremacy, you know? The green circles, yeah, I love it. I think it's great. And the community has adopted it.
Yeah, during the VFX industry, when Rhythm and Hughes went down due to Life of Pi, everyone turned their screen to a green screen, because all the VFX companies went down, even though, got an Oscar, all the rest of that type of stuff. And no one really understood what it meant. But all of us understood what it meant, because we literally work in the industry, do all the rest of that, bring that to the table so people can enjoy themselves, and we get screwed. So we wanted to have solidarity with that type of stuff. And that's what it really is building, a solidarity to, it's not negative tribalism, maximalism, all the rest of that. It's that you are expressing that we are here, we do exist, and we matter. And then you can take that further to be like, we are building, we care, we want to help you matter, right? And you take that to the next stage.
I like that. It's good.
Yeah, it's nice as well. There was a period where, and not even that long ago, so it went from like no green circles to like a few green circles to all green circles. And now at least we're seeing a little bit of a change now. Just when you put up posts, it's not all green circles, which is a great sign that we're starting to get new people coming in. But yeah, no, it was a really good idea, and the community latched onto it really quickly. That it can't be understated, the power of it, especially in Twitter Spaces, and it should maybe be something that everybody thinks about a little bit more. If anybody's going on any other, like builders or streamers or knocking up any spaces or going on to any other, spaces from outside the ecosystem. If we could get some sort of system where everybody knows somebody's going to be going on speaking, that if everybody tunes in to a space where one of the TitanX green circles is talking, and you take over the whole section below, you cannot, whenever it's in there on Twitter, you cannot ignore a shitload of green circles taken over in Twitter Spaces. So it's something I've spoke about before, but that would be a really good marketing tactic if we could infiltrate a few other influencers' Twitter Spaces with green circles. So easy to do.
Yep.
So
just on that as well. I've recently, obviously we've been doing the 128 thing on Twitter. When I've been doing that for a while now, and recently I changed it where I tag like Pulse Chain, tag ETH, tag Solana when I'm sharing, and the people that are following me, it used to be all green circles, so it was people already within the ecosystem. But what I have noticed, and other people should be doing, is when I do tag these other ecosystems, the people that follow me aren't green circle. So we do need to sort of think about that when you are doing the sharing. Don't just share it and tag TitanX. Make sure you tag the other ecosystems as well.
I'm muted. That's a good point because, yeah, I got the other way, Scott. So I'm probably just screaming and shouting in my own in our own echo chamber here because I'm getting bingo after bingo after bingo after bingo. So maybe I need to switch up my tactics a little bit there.
Yeah.
So I have a list of like for Inferno, like I have a list of like all the top meme coin shillers on X, and then so Jay's been really persistent with the hashtags in that, so I started making a list of those too. So I just have like a list on Notepad on my PC, and then what I do is when I'm creating the tweets in that, I'll go through and I'll just like randomly, copy and paste a few of them into the bottom of my tweets with some hashtags and some tags, pretty much everything all the time. So, I think he's onto something with that, and I'm willing, right? I'm willing to try to get the word out.
Actually,
Nice.
just talking about we bit of a sidetrack here. Just mentioning Inferno. The meme, the whole meme-fi narrative that we've got going on, and that the Inferno bull being the king of the king of meme-fi. We're starting to see Flux come in and build on Inferno. We've got Phoenix. You're on here, Callum. Phoenix is building. Flux is built. We've got another project that's already in build. Two of the projects that we're building for Accelerate are going to be building on Inferno, but Alien X had already launched, something that nobody's really even mentioned, but Alien X is already locked up. What is it? 350, nearly 350K of Inferno off the market. It's something people that don't even realize that things are like this are happening in the background. All these, we're talking about projects working together. But yeah, the meme-fi kingdom's only starting off, and we already have, one of the first builds on top of it has locked off. It's actually become the largest holder. Jake, you talk all the time about protocols becoming the largest holder of TitanX and all that kind of stuff. That's already, people are taking that narrative and they're already building things. Building things within the Inferno Kingdom to do that. And what does that do? It just locks supply off the market and makes these coins, more and more scarce. Anybody got any takes on that?
Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about Inferno. So and I will talk a little bit about Blaze too, but I will just say sometimes it's good when the lights are dim, right? Sometimes things are happening when the lights are dim. So I will say that, and I will say that Callum, when you came out with Phoenix, I was like, this is a kid after my own heart right here, because I also got something cooking, and it's a completely different protocol. It doesn't do anything really. There's only one aspect that it does that Phoenix does, and so in that aspect, I believe the more the merrier. I think it will help greatly. But yeah, so it took me a minute to understand what Alien X was doing. So, first of all, when they were talking about burning so much TitanX that was coming in right off the bat, I thought that was a huge mistake. I was like, that's so much value loss. Why would you do that? I didn't understand it. But I kind of grasped it, now, because they're trying to kickstart the whole ecosystem. And if these projects take a bunch of, burn a bunch of TitanX right off the bat, they might be able to just to boost us into hyperdeflation. But what they did that was really smart is they're taking that Inferno and they're using it for their buy and burn, but they've deferred it, right? So it comes out very slowly. And so you don't have the immediate firepower, but what you're doing is you're locking that up. So when the price appreciation starts to move on Inferno and the price goes up on Inferno, now you have some serious firepower, and it's utilized better that way, because Inferno's worked a lot more. And so I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, I think people are sleeping on Alien X. I think people are sleeping big time on Flux. All these things coming up on Flux, this whole flywheel for Flux, I think is about to start rocking. I'm not a founder on Flux, so I can say that, but like people better start taking a look, I think, in my opinion, not financial advice.
Utah,
I want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
I want to say one thing. 20% burn is good. Burn 20%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm doing it. Everything's working just fine. Shogun is also going to do 20%.
Go ahead.
Phoenix will be doing 22%. 22% TitanX.
Hell yeah, that's my boy right there, He's like fucking 22.
Nice.
I mean, it's going to be in a stake, so it's the same thing, isn't it? If it's staked, it's taken off market. So yeah, and all the rest, 70% of it is going to go to Inferno, to buy Inferno somehow before going everywhere else. But I just want to ask Utah quickly: are you one of the founding fathers of Blaze? And it's a pleasure to meet you as well. But what was your kind of past in TitanX?
Yes, I was on Blaze team. They kidnapped me. Yeah, I was there by default. And they say don't be the smartest one in the room, be the dumbest in the room. I was the dumbest in the room. And I've learned a ton, I'll tell you that much. This wasn't supposed to happen, right? Well, anyway, in my mind it wasn't supposed to happen, but it has happened, and it's been a hell of a ride. Yeah, so I look at it this way, like there's 3 generations of bulls here. I'm the old bull. Bad Sports is the young bull. And I don't want to call you baby bull because I don't want to be disrespectful, but there's 3 generations of bulls here. So I don't know. We got to come up with the name for you. But yes, I was on the Blaze team, and now and Inferno, bull, of course. So Prodigy Bull, love it.
Yeah. I just going off what you said as well, I think you have a really good point about Alien X. I think with people coming in, I think having the meme-fi kind of, because people always have different preferences when it comes to crypto. I think having the really good utility stuff that are more complex, like Flux, and then also the more meme-fi kind of, not degen, but more meme arena, I think is also really good because it just allows all audiences to kind of have their own piece in TitanX. So I think that's, really important for outreach and getting more people as well.
Yeah, it's nice to get a nice spread too of even the way these protocols are built as well. A lot of people like to see a big, massive ban burn balance, and they like to see it, attacking these like it did for the Inferno. The 90% ban burn is triggering like crazy. But these some people coming in now building these or using these ban burns in a much longer term, because the ban burns, they get sold into and all that kind of carry on, but taking the ban burn balance and locking it up for a long period of time is another nice little tactic. I mean, how long is you look at how long has TitanX been holding all those funds from the original, and that's sitting there. It's not burnt away. It's been sitting there, just waiting in the sidelines. So a longer term ban burn is also a great aspect to what's being built. Welcome, more new faces. TitanX J, Kevin Light.
That's what made me really bullish on Alien X. Hey guys, sorry.
Morning, everyone.
Yeah, sorry the link. I didn't know the link changed. Morning, good morning. Hey guys.
Morning.
I didn't know the link changed. I was wondering, like, why the hell I don't see them? I'm just waiting. I couldn't see. The screen was just blank. I was thought it was my laptop acting up again. I was like, shit, what the hell's going on? That's what actually made me pretty bullish on Alien X is like I see the Inferno and the TitanX being like pushed out a bit. I'm like, holy shit, this is bullish, right? So that's what I really like. I think it's Alien X, if I'm not mistaken.
Kevin, how's it going? Did you enjoy the stream yesterday? A lot of people were loving Lara on the stream. I think you got kicked off to the sidelines. Everybody was preferring Lara on the stream.
There she is again. Story of my life. Story of my life. I get it started, and then this one takes over. This is kind of how things roll. No, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And here we are. Yeah, no. Yesterday was fun. DJ'd a Halloween party last night, so I'm just kind of checking in. I was just drinking my coffee, and Bad Sports is like, 20 minutes, you're up. Let's go. Let's do this. So here we are, and Sunday it's a big day. Hey, it's you guys have probably been talking about this already, but Lotus day one's just wrapping up, and brought in, how much did it bring in? Over 2 trillion on day one. Is that right?
Let's actually look.
I was trying to
Lotus
calculate
got
back from the amount of the buy and burn.
over 2 trillion. I think it's almost 2.5 to 3 trillion on day one.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Goddamn.
Wow.
From a little Mr. Rain Man. Who expected that? Because Lotus was like this calm thing in the background. 2-3 trillion a day. God, that's impressive. That's good.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I like Lotus. I like how it's positioned, being sandwiched in between Volt and then Zara coming on top, and just with the timing of how things are rolling out, I think people who maybe wish that they got in at Volt at the beginning, this is kind of like a way to possibly slingshot on that potential, that energy of where Volt could potentially go. So I think it's neat. I was very happy to participate yesterday, and this first week, I think, because the mining, the amount of tokens you get per day drops drastically, this first week is the time for that. So Rain Man, yeah, you're killing it. Also Sunday, it's E280 claim day, right? It's those rewards are available to us. I'm looking forward to plugging in and seeing how well we did. So that plus this stream all day, it's a hot Sunday, y'all. It's a hot Sunday.
I must go and check my E280. I really, honestly, I bought E280 for a complete and utter set and forget. But I'm going to go and have a look now that you've mentioned it. Jeff, how's it going?
It's wonderful.
Welcome
good morning,
back.
Sunday morning, sitting back, drinking my coffee, looking at my 280. I'm very frustrated with everybody in the TitanX ecosystem. Last Sunday, when the rewards were paid out, E280 dropped to a 75.75 to 1 ratio against TitanX. I was sitting here frothing at the mouth a little bit, hoping to get a great ratio, and that's not happening. People are selling, but people are buying much quicker than it can be sold. So I don't think I'm going to get my ratio trade I was hoping for this morning, which is bullish. That's an indicator that people are starting to understand what Element 280 is going to be all about. And the community is not letting the price or the ratio to TitanX drop. So excellent. Same as you, though, Ali. Go on.
Go ahead. Yeah, a good example of what will potentially happen with all the Ethereum on day 369. I don't think anybody's going to take their Ethereum and run. I think it's going to get injected seriously and heavily back into the ecosystem. That's my take on what will potentially happen. Sorry, what were you going to say, Jeff?
Oh, I don't know. It wasn't important. I completely forgot.
So
yeah, Ali, I
go ahead.
I agree with you, Ali. There, I was hoping Jake was going to release X28 in September, so that a lot of those stakes would have got removed and fattened up that TitanX or that Dragon X position. But this is a better play, I think. The people who have staked this long, I think most of them are invested in the community. I think a lot of the ETH is going to flow back, and plus it's motivating for those people, because it's still there's I don't know what it is, something like $3 million that is going out to community members. It's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and they staked, and they're going to take that. They're going to do things with it. So it's a great play, I think. Very good.
It's actually going to be.
I think it's probably a bit more.
Imagine if
more actually, because Dragon X getting 40%.
Yeah, I think Dragon X has anywhere between
40
and 45%, and Helios has 3 to 5% ish. Yeah, but then the cool thing about Day 369, it kind of has this game theory element of if a decent percentage of people use their Ethereum to bolster their positions, well, then it's kind of like a chase of who's first. It's kind of interesting to think about. So it's going to be interesting to see how 369 plays out.
It could be great for those that are farming. Lots of transactions, lots of ETH going into TitanX, going into DragonX, going into Volt, going into yada, etc. So farmers might stand to benefit from the 369 payout. Not that I'm paying attention to that.
Yeah,
very good point.
You see Mackenzie's post the other day about the Volt. I think it was farming Volt, and just the list of transactions. 80 grand, 70 grand, 60 grand. The volume was absolutely insane. Yeah, there certainly will be a lot of activity around that time. A hell of a lot of activity. So, yeah, you might want to think about getting your farming positions if you haven't got one. Not financial advice, by the way. Don't listen to me. Any investment advice?
No. Never listen to a Scottish guy.
I have to keep a really close eye on my Inferno in the farms, because it's been running up against TitanX, so I've been watching that pretty closely.
That's a high risk
the other
play.
the other day TitanX was running up against Inferno, so it's kind of leveling out, but I am watching it. And one thing, so me and Dude had a private conversation the other day, and we were talking about, DragonX and Helios and TitanX staking and this, and we come to the conclusion, it's like, if you were to ask somebody, even me, a little while ago, how much of that pool does DragonX own? Be like, oh man, they took over the whole thing, 80%, 90%. No, man, not even close. They're like 45 or something. And Helios is like 3. So not even 50% of that pool is taken up by protocols. And Dude pointed this out to me. A lot of the reason that staking payouts aren't what they were is just because of the miners. The miners haven't been getting started for a very long time, so no ETH came into the system. It wasn't necessarily DragonX taking it over. So, and I know that Callum, that's what I said. I like the way Callum thinks, because I think along the same lines. There's meat left on the bone there. Let's just say that. And once miners start up again, the pools start up again, and if people start burning their stakes, yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about and paying attention to. And I know Callum is also watching it. I could tell by, when I read his white paper, and I was like, oh, I like this kid. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting fact, because I think most people would think that DragonX owns way more than they really do.
Yeah, I think it's huge, the amount of Ethereum that is going to come in, hopefully in the next miner wave. I think there's going to be plenty to share out. And I think protocols having part ownership in that is going to be really, really beneficial, because we've already seen what happened to DragonX. And even for Helios, they've got I think it's $1 million worth, or almost $1 trillion TitanX stakes, maybe even more now. So that's all going to benefit the Helios ecosystem. So the Ethereum from the core kind of being splitting off into these different directions, I think is going to be really beneficial for everyone.
Hey, Caleb, by the way, never had a chance to stream with you. Great to be on stream here. Been really fun to watch your channel grow so quickly. I think you have an unfair competitive advantage by being well-spoken with a British accent. I think that's just cheating. We should have some rules against that. Also, Titan J, hey man, good to see you. I haven't been on stream with you guys. This is one of the things that I really have enjoyed about this event is just being able to jump on with a few other people. And Jake, as far as I can tell, you haven't moved in 24 hours. Exact same background, everything about you have to be exhausted, dude. Kudos to you, man.
All I do is work. This is light work.
This is light work, yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Couple
Jake,
1,000 milligrams of Nicorette will take you a long way.
Get the trampoline. I was watching that
on
on
the
the
trampoline, baby.
Yeah, I was watching that yesterday.
What is this trampoline talk? I don't know what. Have you got a trampoline? Go and jump on, Jake. You wake yourself
Yeah,
up.
I have a little small bouncing trampoline, like it's roughly like a meter on a meter, and I jump up and down like a little kid. It's great. Tony Robbins does it. If Tony Robbins does it, fuck it, I don't care.
I remember
Ah,
yesterday's. I watched a part of yesterday's stream, and Jake was like, "I've got to take a break. I've got to go to the trampoline." And no one like paid attention. Everyone was like, "What?" I was like, I could just imagine him turn off his camera and fucking in the background, bouncing up and down.
Yep.
And yeah, hello everyone. Especially Jeff. I love your content. Your content with your streams with Jake back in the dark times were very, very useful for me staying in the system. So I really appreciate your content. And Kevin and TitanX Jay, nice to meet you both as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, Callum, have you got a green circle? Have you got a green circle?
I've got a green circle.
Yeah. It's funny, you know, the community really is loving your arrival on the scene. I was just even noticing when we were on stream the other night, it was being broadcast on about 5 or 6 different channels, and you had more viewers than everybody else. I don't know if you knew that. Because everybody was streaming it through their own channels, and you had more viewers than everybody else. So keep up the good work. Get the suit back on. The suit back, and the suit was the eye catcher. Like, what's going on here?
It'll add to the British accent.
There you go.
I remember your first stream. I opened it up. I'm like, suit, Mr. Suit, little British accent. Oh, like man's proper posh over here.
I remember it was the stream after you, Ali and Jake, you were together, and Jake, you brought it up that there was just someone else building, and it was me, and then Ali was like, "Oh yeah, the super posh guy." I was like, "Oh, okay."
It's like a young James Bond, man. Just run with it. It's a good look.
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. It's been really neat to see. Jake, I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but maybe you've paid attention to this or reflected upon this, but early TitanX days, it was just you and I. Like, we did a lot of streaming together, and kind of like as I have done before, felt like I was putting myself out on an island. And then what's been really neat to see is, as I've needed to kind of pull back to be engaged with my family more, I've had this feeling like, oh no, there's no one else going to be streaming about TitanX, because I remember a year ago. But then I sit here and look, and I'm like, well, all of these streamers have kind of filled in where I've had to step back, and that need isn't there anymore. And it's really cool to see. And you get people like Caleb coming in, you get people TitanX Jay coming in, and it's like the community picks up where there's a need, and it's the baton pass. So it's really neat. As yesterday, I'm hanging out with my kids doing all sorts of stuff in the backyards, one earbud in, listening, and it's like, yeah, this is great. It's cool to see it all grow.
It is. Even on that, like we're on here, and we've got our show for 3 hours, and we got to bring people on and come up with our own content. And then yesterday, after our period was done, I was able to just switch off and listen in to a lot of this, another absolute ton of awesome content straight afterwards. So many people picking up the mantle and working their asses off for their bags. Sorry, Jake, I cut you off there. You were about to say something.
And in the beginning, it was only really like 3 or 4 people. It was Jeff, The Verse, Smooth and Crypto, and Vibra, if I remember correctly. That was like the first streams that we did. Yeah, and they're still here. It's so cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I thought it would be kind of fun at some point. I don't know if I'm going to have the time, but it would be fun to play on this anniversary stream my Titanic life jacket moment. that should be clipped and put on here.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a bit rough there for a minute. Slightly, just a little FUD in for a few months there, no biggie. But I was thinking the other day, I really remember that stream that the Kindness and Jake did with Joe Perry's, and that was so awesome. Mm-hmm. Can you guys pull that off again now, especially now while things are making a big turnaround? I mean, he's talking about all these different TitanX protocols and stuff regularly. So can you guys do that stream again? You guys got contacts with him?
I've actually been in touch with him a few times. I'm sure Jake has more than I have, but I invited him to this stream. He responded straight away. He's like, yeah, hey, I wish I could be there. I'm traveling, so I'm not going to be around. super fun to see how TitanX is growing. Stay in touch. We'll connect again. So I think I would say with cautious confidence that we could make that happen again. So I'll try. It'll be fun.
Yeah, because Joe is pretty good, man. He understands the ecosystem very well.
Hey,
Because
Jeff,
I
I
watched
just
his
want to
video
say,
on TitanX, and he understood it very well. He was talking about Hydra, the ratios, how it works, where the buy and burns are out. I was like, man's part of us. Like, he really understands the ecosystem. It's so good. And then he was talking about like farms and stuff. I'm like, damn, okay, he gets it.
Yeah, I think that'd be.
Yeah, he's really hyped.
That'd be fun.
He's really hyped about TitanX.
Were you asking a
who wants to go
question, Bad
first?
Sports? Yeah.
Is he finished?
Let's all
Go
rock,
ahead, go
paper,
ahead.
scissors.
Okay, Bad Sports, go.
Yeah, no, Jeff, nice to see you, man. Thanks for coming. I know it was kind of short notice, but I would like to hear your thoughts on. I don't like to compare people, but hear your thoughts on how Jake differs as a creator, and any positive thoughts on what he's doing better than the next person out there. I think you've got some really good insight on that.
That's a tough question. Yeah, that's a good one. No, I just typed up a big message I sent to Irish this morning. I'll just read that. I mean, that make my own life easy, because this was part of. I think he's gonna say some of this on the next stream, but basically, I just highlighted. So it's a founder that works with the developers to make the ecosystem better. A founder that has set a high bar of expectations for security audits and unique protocols. A founder that is ever present, easy to reach, and will always respond if he can. Yeah, within reason. Easily, let's see here. Where was I? Founder that will help developers and share lessons learned to make the ecosystem better. And a founder that's going to jump on streams, even with new streamers that don't have many followers. So the ego isn't there. The I can't be bothered with little people type of thing isn't there. And I will say I participated in Zen for a long time, and Jack Levin did a lot of those things as well. I don't know how engaged she was with people that were building on Zen or any of that type of stuff, but Jake is just a lot more present, and that's important. So, like, a lot of the ecosystems and stuff that we've been in, there's kind of the one man syndrome. Like, this guy is everything, and we have to just bow to what this person wants, and he's got to do all the work, and he's going to build this great thing. And once he puts all the money into it, or when Sequoia Capital, or just like there's this kind of like, I don't know, halo around the guy at the top, and that doesn't really feel the same here. It just feels like Jake is another dude that's in the ecosystem cheering everybody on. And when you see there's always the memes of the difference between a boss and a leader. And the boss is always like, megaphone pointing, telling people what to do. And the opposite meme is the leader is at the back, like pushing and encouraging the people within the ecosystem to go forward. And so that's kind of like how I see it, is that the leaders out there in the trenches with the shovel, working, sharing the lessons learned, encouraging, hey, maybe if we do this together, all this type of stuff. So it's just it's really the difference. If anybody's ever worked for a company where you're like, oh, the management here sucks, you know why? And then if you've worked for a company where you're like, oh, this company's amazing, you know why? And it all has to do with the ethos that comes down from the top. And in those particular organizations where it's fun to work, there doesn't feel like there's this top. It doesn't feel like there's this pecking order if you have to, mind your P's and Q's to the guy above you. It's just like, oh yeah, of course I can reach out to them because they're a part of the team and they're going to help me and they're going to be encouraging. So that's how I see it a little bit different over here. Not sure if I answered the question or if I just went on a little rant there, but either way, it's what happened.
We need one of those buttons that you hit and all people start cheering and everything there after that one.
Yeah. I mean, that meme you were talking about with the boss and the leader, I fucking love that meme. So the boss
Yeah.
is the guy in the back yelling at everybody, pointing at other people to do their stuff while he's sitting there and that they're carrying them forward. And then the leader is at the head of the pack, pulling everybody else forward. He's like, so I love this saying because I've been through a bunch of like leadership training during the coaching days, and like the saying leaders go first. I've always loved that. Like if you want to see people work harder, you work harder. Everybody else is going to follow. You don't point at people telling them to work harder. It's you put in the work, and then everybody will see it and be like, damn, okay, that guy's working. I want to work now. You know, it's leading by example instead of leading by force. And one thing I've always done as well, and I think I've done this very specifically, is I don't do streams alone. I always bring other people on, so it feels like us, not me. It's like, hey, we're building this. It's not just me, because it's not just me. Like I'm just the dude that built TitanX, and everybody else made it what it is. It's the builders that make TitanX what it is. So it's always like always has been us, not me mentality, because that's how you build something that lasts. If it's all relying on me, well, then we're kind of fucked. If it's relying on us, well, then we can flourish.
Exactly. I read a book once. It's called Power versus Force. And it's a really dry book. I don't necessarily recommend it. I mean, you can get the Cliff's Notes off of it on YouTube, and it's a great message, but it's very much kind of what you were just saying. Like those that try to force you to do something, it never works out that well. When you try to force your will upon something, or when you are pointing and you do this and you do this, and it has to be done my way. Whereas somebody that's powerful gets that way without having to be that person. They're the ones in the trench, and what makes them powerful is their how they lead by example. And so the power is like, well, I want to be like that person because they're out working harder and they're by my side and they're encouraging. And it's like the Nelson Mandela kind of example. It's a very powerful guy in terms of influence because of the way that he behaves. So it's cool, and it's very present in crypto. You see that the power versus force plays that are out there.
Yeah, and that all follow that all.
Yeah, if you look at Elon Musk. Sorry, guys, I'm just turning.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, passport.
I'll bring him back. No, that all funnels down. So, like, there's a leader who's leading, and then there's all the different kingdoms underneath, and they're all trying to lead their, in the same style. So, as in, we're seeing you work really hard, Jake, on the stream, 12 hours a day, streaming every day, rule of 100, just out there, in the trenches, like Jeff said there. And all the different kingdoms are now following suit and trying to pull up all the ecosystems built within their kingdoms as well, the same way, jumping on streams. Callum's popped up, get him on stream, let's help him out. Same with like the likes of Kevin, let's chat, let's see what we can provide each other. And everyone is all aligned. And that only comes from the top down. It's all funneled down into all the different, the sub ecosystems within TitanX. And yeah, it can only come from the spear. So yeah, fair play, man.
I like.
We all inspire each other. Yeah, because also you go hard, man. Because when you were streaming, you were doing like 5 streams a day, and you were like falling asleep on stream. I'm like, damn, I need to get my game up, Yeah,
it's healthy competition is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I would expand on that and say, that we're all leaders, right? We're all creating an example. Your posts that you do, people are reading that, they're being influenced by that. The streams that all of you are doing, you're sharing your personality, and you're creating that space and that container for other people to follow along, right? So you all hold a leadership position in this, and that energy that you put out will be represented in others, and the more you do it, like I mean, Bad Sports, you're just like one of the hardest working guys out there, I swear, man. Like with everything, with the projects that you're doing, Accelerate, all your posts. I think you got one of those full-time jobs too, kind of thing. Like that's setting the bar high, and that is leading by example. I mean, when I'm feeling lazy, I just I look at your posts, I look at Eric's posts, a bunch of you guys, and I'm like, yeah, gotta step this shit up, man. Gotta do it, and then you do it and you feel good. You're like, I committed, I contributed, I'm following along with what these people in front of me are doing too. So yeah, and that goes for everyone watching this stream. It's the same all around.
Jay use I cut you off because you was glitching out a little bit. Did you have anything to add?
Oh yeah, sorry guys. I'm still having issues with my I'm still having issues with this camera. After this this stream, I swear I'm gonna buy the most expensive laptop in the world. It's gonna be like quantum laptop, I swear. Immediately after this stream, I'm literally going straight to fucking to the tech shop to buy a new laptop. This is a new one, but it was just a cheap one that I bought a few years ago. I hadn't even used it much.
What'd you say?
That's good, man. That's good. He's trying. He's trying. He'll come back here with like the quantum computer setup, universe behind him.
Yeah, definitely come back with
He's
it.
probably really frustrated right now, but we all heard him just fine.
Yeah, exactly. His camera is lagging, but his voice is fine.
So a quick question if anybody wants to answer this one. We're the Green Circle gang. They're all out we're all out working our asses off. Where do we want to get to? What's the main goal for the community over the next sort of 6 months? And what do we all need to be doing more of to help to get the ecosystem where we need to be? Anybody got any thoughts, suggestions on that? Go ahead.
So the rule of 100 or 28. I like saying 100 or 28. If you have a bunch of time to spend, do 100 interactions. It all combines into one. Likes, retweets, comments, quote tweets. If you do a like, a comment, that's 2. It just combines together. But a rule of 100, because we have a lot of community, and as this grows, our reach grows with it, as long as the people engage. So that the rule of 100, and then the 28 is if you don't have much time, just do 28 actions, 28 retweets or likes, just a combination of them. Just get to 28. If everybody does that, we have immense reach, big reach. Because even now, our community is reaching more people than communities that have 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 holders, because we're loud and we're engaged and we're active, and that will only grow. And it's the community that sets the example for the people that follow. Because then they're like, oh, the whole community is working at retweeting and doing the rule of 100. I should do it as well. Because like in crypto, we don't have this magical force in the background, TradFi, forced 401k, DCAing into your thing. We're not the stock market, we're crypto. We build everything from the ground up. People need to know we exist. There's no magic backstop in crypto. The backstop is the people. It's like the more we can inspire people to do rule of 100, the rule of 28, and just follow that community engagement ethos, the better off it'll get, because we engage more people in the ecosystem. As that engages, we get more people in, and then it's just an exponential curve. So in my opinion, what we're doing is incredibly good. We need to do more streams, more tweets, more rule of 100 from the community, do it more consistently over a longer period of time, and by default, it's going to get bigger, because now we're entering that exponential curve of adoption. Because now we're operating with like a relatively small community size. But as that gets bigger, everything we're doing by default gets bigger. So like more consistently.
Let me ask you a quick question. Okay, so on the route 28, okay, people may be put off 100. Geez, they're sitting to 100 interactions. Okay, so I agree. Get up and get the 100 done. But a nice simple thing, 20 to do 28. How easy is that? You know, do you need to be posting your own? Do you need to be coming up with your own posts? Do you need to, or do you just simply need to go on and like 28 posts, like and share 28, like 14 likes and shares? Is that enough? Is it as simple as that? Is what I'm getting at?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Just like and retweet. Start there, and after a while, you can do your own tweets. You can quote tweet, put your own little thing on it. But just start there, and that will do a lot. Because then you're just helping the people that are already working.
I don't like the 28. I don't like the 28.
Don't forget the
just go for the 100. No 28. It's just 100. That's it.
Yeah, and hey,
2800.
Let me expand on.
Jake, don't forget the hashtags, please.
Sorry, 2 seconds. Yeah, Jeff, go ahead first, then we'll come back to you, Kevin. Go ahead, Jeff. You were about to speak there. Then on to you, Kevin.
That's okay. It's easy to say, hey, 28 or 100 or any of this. Like, if you're not currently doing that, start with 1. That's all you need to do. Just start with 1, and then do 2, then do 3. One of the things that I know still exists out there are these, I guess, artificial attachments to certain communities. A lot of people in TitanX, I'm just going to say it, come from the Hex ecosystem, come from Pulse Chain, come from Zen, something like this. And so many people are still afraid to put anything on their Twitter about a different community because of fear of backlash. It's entertaining to me, but it exists. It is a thing. And so what I would challenge everybody that's listening to do is just do it once or twice. And you'll see, yeah, you'll get some snide comments, but they don't hurt. Like, words don't hurt. The mute button is your best friend. Spend the time putting in the energy where you think you're going to get the most return, not focused on what is an anonymous avatar on X going to say about me. Because this exists, and I know it because we talk about it all the time. And I see a lot of my tweets that I'll even say, hey guys, do the rule of 28, do the rule of 100. This should get 100 likes, 100 retweets, yada, etc. And I'll get a few. And I'll look at some of the people that are liking or retweeting, and a lot of them have like Hex or Zen or something else on there. And so I just know that there's this, like, I'm afraid to do it because I'm loyal to this community. And what is this other community going to say? I'll challenge you with this. Who gives a shit? Did you come to crypto to make money, or did you come here to join some completely anonymous cult of people that you're never going to see in your life? 90% of them have faceless avatars and are just, I'm going to say, like, failure to launch people living in their basement that put $100 into a crypto that need it to go to $1 million to change your life. And so they're so damn emotional about it that all they can do is attack other people. Don't worry about that person. If you want to have the success that you want, then you have to do something different and take that first step, do the first tweet. If you don't know where to start by retweeting everything Mackenzie puts out there with a comment. Just do a quote tweet, because Mackenzie has a huge following and puts out incredible data points. So if you don't know where to start, just retweet Mackenzie or Marco the Hexagon. Look for a few people that are prolific tweeters with good information, not just the moon boys, because sometimes I can be a moon boy. But look for the prolific tweeters, posters, whatever we're calling them these days, that put out really good information. And just like that, comment on that, retweet that with a quick quote of something, just like, hey, paying attention to this. You don't even need to tag TitanX if you don't want to, if you're still worried about what your fake community is going to think about you. And just start there. And you'll realize at some point, yeah, you might get some nasty comments said back to you, but it's okay. We're all adults here. And if our feelings don't matter much, so just take that step. And I'll say that because I won't lie. I went through that when I first started talking about a different community and then the next community. Nowadays, I just laugh at it. It's like, okay, buddy, I came here to make money and I'm doing the steps necessary to broaden that reach so that people can see the quality of what is being built here. And I don't care what anybody else thinks about it. I have my goal and don't get in my way. So I'm just encouraging anybody that's listening that's worried about that. Like, oh, I can't retweet this because whatever. Grow up. We're adults.
Well, Ali, you're muted.
Yeah, no, that's well said, Jeff. I really like that. I had a lot of the same feelings as well, building on Pulse Chain, being a massive, just focusing all my energy in that community. Just being sent, trying to centralize myself over there, and it was difficult enough to make the switch. Even when it came to streaming for Blaze, it was a big move. It felt like a big move. It obviously wasn't. It really wasn't, but it felt like it at the time. But we're going to actually get into a lot that in a bit more detail in the next panel. So yeah, no, great points there, Jeff. Kevin, you were going to say something, sir?
Yeah, thanks, Ali. You know what? I want to share a real life example that shows the power of this rule of 100 or rule of 28. So I'm just going to chase my camera around. Can you all see this? See this here? So this is a wetland where I grew up. Me and my buddies, we used to run here. We used to play all the time. It's a migration center for certain rare species. There's animal species that live there that aren't found anywhere else in our area. There's also a halfway spot along this lake for the indigenous cultures who used to live there. So like a very, very powerful spot. And what happened is it got sold to this guy, who's like gonna he wanted to develop it. He wanted to build on it, change it, destroy, all of that kind of thing. And basically, the government said, okay, if you can raise $2.5 million, then we'll take it from this guy. Or it was in some kind of limbo. And the government said, if you could get $2.5 million, we'll take it and we'll put it in a conservatory fund, right? And so this was all going on. And then the people of the community, they reached out to Lara and I, and they said, hey, you know, this place, this is what's happening. You know, we got to start fundraising. We got to start getting some money, kind of thing. Can you help? And so Lara and I were thinking about this, and we know the power, like we know that the solutions to things like this are out there, and you know, it's not going to be a straight line, right? But it's out there, right? And you just got to like hold vision that will come. So anyhow, so we helped them kind of do some website stuff and things like that. We helped them get a Facebook page, and we started posting about it. We started posting about this project. We started showing images of it. This guy who we know saw Lara's post about this, and he shared that post with this anonymous millionaire. And this one guy swooped in. He says, I'll do it. And he gave the whole $2.5 million. And he donated that. This place is now saved. It's now in a reserve, a conservatory fund. It's totally protected. And it's all because of that one contact, right? That one guy saw one post that Lara did and shared it along. And that's the same thing. You know, I've been thinking about this for a while with what we're doing here. You have no idea who's going to read your posts and who they're connected with and who they're going to share it. Like you're literally 1, 2, 3 degrees away from people with massive influence and massive money who can really change this game for us. And it's just those 1 or 2 connection points that could make all the difference. So, you know, like every tweet that you put out is loaded with a lot of power and a lot of energy. Like this isn't just a nice idea. You know, it's not just this like gentle linear thing that happens. It's this can move fast. This can move really, really fast. So yeah.
It's a good example.
Do the thing.
Yeah, man, really good example. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, we're going to go into our last hour here. So a little quick what's man's going blank. What do you call the dude? Makes all the videos.
Young Stunner.
Young Stunners. A quick little Young Stunners video, and then back into our next panel. Thanks everybody for coming up and speaking.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome to the TitanX annual celebration. Join us as we gather to celebrate innovation, collaboration, and the vibrant TitanX community. Prepare for inspiring keynotes from industry leaders, engaging panel discussions, and networking opportunities that will elevate your experience. This is not just a conference, it's a chance to connect, learn, and grow together. Let's build on our achievements and forge a path toward a brighter future. Together, we are TitanX.
Yes, sir.
We're back.
Nice video.
Yep.
Got three new speakers. How you doing, guys?
Yes.
I'm gonna get my nicotine.
Where's Cool? Get your gum. Where's Cool-It at? Is he smoking too? I just woke up on my end. Good morning, Jeff. Good day, y'all. See Maximus in here, a Pulsar brother. Kool-Aid in here.
Yes, sir.
Ali Kane.
Kool-Aid's here, as always. He's there somewhere
on the Galactic Starship.
Welcome to the TitanX first anniversary conference, guys. Good to have you here, Maximus J, Crypto Compassion. How are you both doing?
Excellent, man. Trying to wake up, but good.
Right. Maximus, I don't know where you're located, but I know I'm on the West Coast myself. I'm not going to hide about it. I'm over here in Oregon on the United States. Yesterday was a great day for anyone who's into college football because my Oregon Ducks are kicking butt. So there's a lot of similarities when it comes to coaching and college football and the teamwork that I see happening within TitanX. People are building, people are communicating. I like to draw those correlations with people in crypto as a whole who are building and working together and using discipline to achieve a common goal. So good on everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
100%. You guys have been killing it, man. That's why I don't really feel like I have a foot to stand on to like complain about being tight or anything, because you guys have been at it for like 2 days now straight. So I'm just like, all right, just shut up and show up. You know?
I know.
Yeah, it's yeah, I was even after 3 or 4 hours yesterday, I was absolutely exhausted. I don't know how. Bad Sports kept going in the background, and Jake managed to stay on for 12 hours straight. Kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, and look, actually, do you want to give us a quick 2 minutes of your background in crypto? Maximus J, you want to go first?
Sure. I'll try and give like a short version. I
Yeah,
got introduced in 2017 and lost a bunch of money in BitConnect and trading, and didn't really know why. Yeah. So then I kind of went off the deep end with learning trading, because I thought that was the problem, and learning macro, because I was like, okay, well, I never want to be caught off guard again, right? So then I went down the trading rabbit hole and got liquidated many times on that journey. So I feel the pain of people who actually attempt to, day trade and stuff like that. And then really from there, it was I went on this, I guess, hunt to just find a community that was not full of shit, and actually had an ethos and had something that it was fighting towards. So naturally, went through the Hex community, Pulse and Pulse Chain, and now TitanX. Here I am. That's the super short version of it.
Actually, the funny short version is when I was dealing with my first Ponzi back in 17, I was in Jay's trading group. And then suddenly 6 years later, we're working together and we're best friends. But long story short, that is the correct answer of that exact story.
Long. Yeah. We had a group of like 6,000 people at that time too. A couple big YouTube channels, like big ass Discord. That was crazy. It was crazy. We would just hang out and talk on Discord voice like all day long. It would just be like this. Like people would pop out and pop back in, and like just all day long thing. We're like trading off of basic stuff back then too, like Bollinger Bands and RSI.
Trading bread, man.
Yeah, you could actually get away with trading like that back then. It was the wildest thing.
Well, you also had Ether Delta back then, so like the almost X. I still have some dust over there.
Yeah, ICOs, all that fun stuff. So we got to experience all that together.
Crypto Compassion. What about yourself, sir?
Yeah, you bet. So I was relatively, I guess, younger. 2019. A fellow by the name of Joe Perry's onboarded me into Hex. We were in a position where he kind of dabbles in many cryptos. So some of that, tribalism isn't really quite in his wheelhouse per se, if you will. And so we were in on a lot of different things. So I was very early in on Pulse Chain, all that kind of good stuff. I kind of like to go to these in-life real meetups. I believe that your network is your net worth. And so within that, I love to network. I love to go meet people in real life. I love to, and that's the beauty of crypto, guys. The beauty of crypto is if you want to be private, if you want to do your thing in the background, do your thing. If you want to go out and build in different areas, go do that. With that being said, going out, hanging out with Marco in Vegas, doing that kind of thing, having, slapping hands, having fun, getting phone calls from Kool-Aid on the cell phone at 3:30 in the morning, me rolling over saying, I'm going to pick it up. What's up? Going, that kind of stuff. But
business hours. Exactly.
So networking is key. And then getting those Zoom call invites from like Jake prior to even TitanX, and having those collaborations where we speak and talk about crypto and the intricacies of DeFi, you know what I mean? DeFi for all. And so that was kind of my progression. It was into Cardano first, and falling in love with the ethos of that, and then kind of morphing into a Joe Perry's where we fell in love with Hex. And then I, obviously got in really early and was well positioned for Pulse Chain, Pulse X, Hex, all that kind of good stuff. But then you kind of go through that evolution where you recognize is real, and you see builders building. You see opportunities to network in other areas. I think of things like digital nations that people are building all over the globe. You're not going to like sit there and slander someone building a beautiful skyscraper in Dubai when there's casinos in, like Las Vegas. So I see that I was very fortunate to be into the TitanX community early. I see that I see other people building in other areas where they're going cross chain, such as, Kool-Aid and Jay here. And people are building. And I think that earlier what Jeff was speaking to was that tribalism has an opportunity to evolve into something where we all work together. So that's kind of my little, spiel story, if you will. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much for that, man. That's kind of what we're going to get into here, maybe, for the next hour or so here. Just, tribalism in crypto is massive. It is a massive part of many ecosystems. A lot of people, a lot of ecosystems and projects that operate, isolated in their own little worlds. And there's a lot of jealousy and hate gets created, green candles versus red candles. When there's green candles in one place, they get the hate, and then it kind of flips back the other way. But a lot of communities don't really engage with each other. No meaningful and cross-chain dialogue, positive cross-chain dialogue. Anybody want to have a thought on how we can encourage collaboration rather than competition between blockchain communities?
Yeah, sure. I'll give it a stab. So, like, at the end of the day, sometimes you want pie and sometimes you want cake. Both of them are desserts. Now, I've always been, I know everyone on this panel stupidly well. And at the end of the day, I will always be a Richard Hart idealist, right? Because I learned from a situation. But what I'm not going to be is a maximalist. If you're a maximalist, you can be a payphone or a pager maximalist. And how good is that going to get you anywhere in life? It's not. Ideally, at the end of the day, DeFi for all is about moving together and building together in a positive ethos. When it's me or we should always choose the we and build together, even if we go in different view frustrums. At the end of the day, that is the most important thing, to keep building together. Otherwise, you paint yourself into a corner, and what's going to happen is tribalism turns into maximalism. Maximalism turns into toxicity, because there's nothing to guide the wedge that everyone's building together. Can you see two competitive farmers farming next to each other, and one setting, their field ablaze just because, like, someone got too many strawberries today versus too many apples? It's ridiculous. At the end of the day, you're building food to feed people, to grow, to build some kind of lifestyle of where you want to be in the future. And that is the most paradigm about anything. If you think about, like, video games, right? I make an IP, right? I can put it on an Xbox, a PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, all of that. Does that mean the IP is any less valuable? And take that IP as an ideal. Doesn't necessarily have to be a structured token, a thing, a game. The IP is, what do we want to do, experience, and grow through? And those are the real interesting paradigms that we have to get over, because humanity goes into this maximalism point of view, whether it's religion or politics or anything, or financial wealth, because it's either important or it's taboo. And what we need to do is break down these paradigms that we can all work together regardless of what's in your wallet. Who cares what Capital One says? We all need to be building all of this concurrently and congruently together to have a modal and model way to execute into the future.
Yeah, I'll dovetail
yes,
on
sir.
that.
I think. I'll go ahead.
I was just going to say, is one way we've attempted to do that is we just build projects and bridge communities, whether they like it or not. So that's one way in, is just kind of kick the door down and just say, okay, well, we're doing this and we don't really need anyone's permission to do this. We're just going to kind of go and do it and hope for the best. And it's had mixed results, to be honest, with previous experiments.
Max, can you give us an example of that?
Just, it didn't go as smooth as we wanted it to when we did an experiment on Icosa with iBurn. The community feedback and just everything that happened, we'll kind of keep that private. But
however, we were the first to do parity in between Ethereum and Pulse Chain at the exact same time, and restarted the eHex flywheel, and restarted the Icosa burnback systems. So the system worked. What happened is everyone wanted to wait for the founder to greenlight something, because we're building tools on top of an ecosystem to make it deflationary. Take it or like it. You can use these tools if you want. Just like, again, you can choose between cake and pie. Sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. And that never happened. And then basically whales were selling down the price of Icosa the day we launched, just to spite the launch, and a bunch of other stuff. But again, I'm not here to air dirty laundry, and I don't think that's appropriate. But so it doesn't always go smooth, is my point. But when it does go right, I think that something bigger is happening here. Like a lot of us have been in crypto long enough. The 2017 class, the 2019 class, since then there's been so many big things that have happened in crypto that I really just think that there's a refinement happening, that a lot of like-minded individuals are finding each other. And what the spot that we're all finding each other now is it's been a refinement from Richard Hart ecosystem, some Zen, and now TitanX. And I noticed like everyone's kind of just now building and hanging out on TitanX. And so this is 100% the spot to be. And I hope that regardless of what happens with all of this is that we just continue to all stick together and build, because that's really what crypto needs. Like there wasn't really a whole lot going on. Rewind 2 years ago, everything was pretty stagnant. The fallout from FTX was way bigger than everyone wants to admit. And so that left a lot of people broken emotionally. When you get liquidated, like it really does change you. There's not a lot of people built for that. And that's not an insult. It's just, that's a tough thing to go through. And so, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot going on. And now I see this beautiful, like blossoming, thing happening with TitanX. And I totally didn't see that coming. And I think, again, it's amazing what's going on here. And so this group needs to stick together, and we need to keep building, because, this is the future. The future is building. And I think that that's probably the biggest bet you could make, and your belief into something is to then build in it, be involved in it, in some sort of capacity. Like there's no greater thing to go all in on than yourself. Right. And so anyway, I'm tangenting now, but.
Yeah, no, that was a good take there, man. I really agree with a lot of things you're saying there. So anybody else want to say anything?
I just want to know how Kool-Aid got sponsored by Capital One and I didn't. And he's
well,
over there.
I mean, you got to be fast. You got to be really, really fast.
He's over there talking about pagers
by Progressive and Mayhem. If I was going to, or not Mayhem, what is it? Oh God, what is the insurance company? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Allstate, because I'd definitely be Mayhem if I was going to be someone. Definitely not Flow.
That's too funny. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the. Sorry, go on.
No, go for it, bro.
Okay.
So you, Jeff, go.
I don't know what I was going to say. It was like
do it, kindness.
Something along the lines of. Actually, I was just looking at a post on Twitter talking about the difference between a cult and a community. And a lot of it is really the difference between leadership style, which we talked about not long ago on this stream. The cult has the leader that stands up top with the bullhorn and tells everybody what they're supposed to do, and this is how it's supposed to look. And the community has the leader that's in the back and is pulling everybody forward and being encouraging. And so in crypto, we see both. And some people like to be a part of one, some people like to be a part of the other. The great thing is we all have a choice. And even though sometimes it can feel like we're indebted to whatever community or cult we're a part of, those boundaries, they only exist in our mind. But sometimes those are the strongest boundaries. I mean, I'm sure many people have seen the YouTube video of the ant where you draw a circle around it and the ant can't get past the circle on the paper, even though it's a completely artificial line. Are you an ant? Is the question I have. Do you know that you can step over the line? It can happen. It's pretty easy. You get to make the choice, and don't let the boundaries, the artificial boundaries that exist in your brain, keep you from actually stepping outside into a better world if you so seek it.
And I think to top on top of that, like you have the old metaphor of stone soup, right? Where everyone comes together and they actually put something into the broth to build together, to share a meal together. And I think we've gotten away from that. And unfortunately, it's the way that I guess the glass ceiling of the world has changed us, or changed where we've come from, like over the years and over the generations. And it's like you were saying, the ant that's being circled in because it can't see out of its dimension that's holding it back, right? First dimension, second dimension, third dimension. And because it can only see its parallel, it doesn't see what's perpendicular to it. And that's why you need people to come together to actually help give perspective. And I think that's what real communities come together to, if they're actually building together and working together, is they give a sanity check. They give perspective. They give more vegetables or meat to the stone soup.
One thing to like, how do we attract people from other communities? Super easy. Make this community so damn fun, so damn positive, encouraging, that people are just like, That's where I want to be.
That's
the easiest thing.
Yep.
It's, all right. People have been around here in crypto longer than I have. It's easy. Okay, we're all here at the minute having a good time. Okay, we're all building. We're building good projects. The community's growing. Everything's thriving. What is it? Is it just because it's easy at the minute? Does it get more difficult? We're saying all these things we're saying now about being able to cut down tribalism and bridge the gap and work together and do all these things. Does it get harder as we grow?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the reason it feels so good to be in a builder community is because everybody has control of their own destiny. You start getting pissed off when your entire destiny relies on one dude doing something or one team doing something. If you're in a builder community, everybody can step up and make the future they want to see, so you never feel like you're helpless. You get extremely frustrated when you feel like a helpless bystander, but when you feel like you could have control over what happens in the future, that's when you get excited instead of frustrated. Because that has been big for me, because I've tried everything I can to not give the community a god complex. I'm a normal dude. Yes, I'm smart. I'm a builder, but at the end of the day, I'm just a human. I'm like everybody else. So now that we have multiple builders and people can build whatever they want, and they can take control of their own destiny, they can build their own protocol, they can kind of decide where the ecosystem goes. And instead of being a helpless bystander, it's like I remember I put this tweet out and it really hit. It's in TitanX, we replace hope and pray with build and make it happen. So if you're frustrated with something, go build, make it happen. You control your own destiny here.
Yeah, 100%. I think like it gets hard when you have just one guy at the front, and then there's consistent red candles, and then there's more, and then there's lawsuits or court cases or whatever. And then it's like, wait, he's not posting enough. You should be posting more. Wait, why are you posting this stuff? You should be posting that stuff. This isn't good marketing. That's good marketing. And it's like, oh my God, everything becomes this piece that can be split into a million different, hairs. And this guy's got this opinion. This guy's got this opinion. And again, we've seen this now. Like that just gets you into a lot of trouble. And it's a no-win situation. There is no right answer to anything you could possibly do Monday through Friday. So that's why you really need something like this, to where it's like that's been kind of broken out better, so that people can kind of latch on to whatever narrative that they want. And they have those reminders on the red days that like, okay, well, wait a second. This isn't like a normal thing that I'm in here. There's a lot of people building. In 2 days, there's going to be another launch. I don't know if it's always going to be like that, but that'd be kind of wild. I don't think I could keep up with that because I struggle to now with everything being launched. But, they have that to fall back on. Like they're going through their head and back through their memories here of like why I'm in this thing again. People forget real easily why they're in something, especially when they're losing, they're quote unquote losing money, even if it's losing dashboard money and gains that they've now made. That gets harder and harder to do when, again, everything's funneled through like one point of person and control.
That's a great point. I think that when people don't have hope, it's very detrimental to human psychology when they don't have hope. And so when you have a community that is very hopeful for the next thing, hopeful for the opportunity to collaborate and build, it's a powerful thing. And you know what, Kool-Aid, don't be knocking pagers, okay? Pagers are awesome back in the day, okay?
Yeah, back in the day. Here's the fun part. Those payphones still have copper. That copper is still alive. You can't turn off the copper. It's just people stop using the interface to get in there. But you can be a carrier pigeon maximum, a fax machine maximum, or use high range internet. I'd rather use fiber optic internet to be me. But I mean, carrier pigeons could be fun to train.
Well, and there's also cosmic consciousness, so we can always tap into that too.
Absolutely. Actually, that's a big point. I think that's I think it's a big, not to get theospal about it, but I mean, I think we all do here with, golden mean, golden ratios, gematria, all the rest of that. We've kind of walked away from a society that deals with those spiritual opening and awakening points. And because everyone's trying to look out for themselves, when we look out for everyone together, that breath of wealth, that breath of positivity opens, right? That door is unlocked. The Narnia's castle and Mr. Tumnus is there. Be like, come play, come have a good time and enjoy yourself. And we've lost that, I think, over the last generation or two. And hopefully we're moving into that web of the new beginnings, so the new architecture of that foundation.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe the collective's coming together. There is a webbing going on. I see it with the builders. I see people, whether they are conscious of it or subconscious of it, in a way that they, Jake, you're a big fan of numbers. You like your numerology. You fall in line with all that kind of beautiful stuff. And so it's amazing that these things kind of go in cycles. And I do believe that is coming to the forefront with, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world in macro. And so when people can come together and build subconsciously and consciously together, it's a beautiful thing. Jay, you brought up a good point that, that there's just these like tribalism that, like, that you've been in these environments where it's a single point, a single failure, and I believe that there's these people coming together and they're trying to build bonfires instead of just one bonfire out here. And there's, like, I think you guys referred it to as the kingdom, you know what I mean? Like these kingdoms being brought up and built everywhere. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of collaboration going on between everybody. Us versus them mentality between different communities. It leads to missed opportunities, infighting, all that kind of stuff. TitanX is a little bit different. With everybody working together for common goals. How can we make sure that we keep that as it grows, so we don't miss opportunities together? How do you manage to keep that? Whenever there is different community, different kingdoms, and one kingdom starts to do a little bit better than the other, how do you make sure that the kingdoms keep working together for the good, the good of everybody that's participating?
I think it's leading by example. Like, I think it was Kool-Aid that said this. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. What did you say that, Kool-Aid? I like that saying a lot.
No, but I mean, I definitely believe in that, right? You know what I mean? That's the like, you have to be able to see the light to be able to understand the day, right? That's why midnight is twilight is the parallax in between. Can I make it through it? And then is it okay? Right? You have to get to that last message of the desert of the real. Quote to Morpheus. What's going on, Rags?
Jake, are you gonna translate that for me?
Yeah,
Jake can speak Larryism, so I mean,
that's why I'm asking him.
I kind of blanked there for a second. Can I get a redo on that?
Yeah. So the main thing was,
I think yin and yang.
It's leading by example. And then the other part of the reason I mentioned that sunlight is the best disinfectant is, if you see somebody not operating within the ethos or doing something that is harmful to the community, you put sunlight on it. Because usually people that are trying to build, they're trying to do something good. But maybe they just missed some stuff, or they're not aware of a certain thing in the ethos, so you don't need to go and attack them. Obviously, if it's like a massive vampire attack, that's a whole different story. But if they're building within the ethos and they're trying to follow something, maybe just like a little hint, like, hey, you can actually build this on top of this, or this can be incorporated like this, and it could be like a very symbiotic relationship. So, like, I think we've been very collaborative up until now, and it's just leading by example. All the builders are like this. It's when builders that are not like this start showing up, then we just need to call it out a little bit. Not like in an aggressive way, but just like, hey, this is a very collaborative environment. This would be kind of cool, and it will help your thing in this way. Just kind of bring it back to the logical frame.
Yeah,
but so far so good.
That's a great point, and it's just the kind of thing that that has to be done right. We don't want to be starting to, somebody comes in and their ethos, maybe the wrong person thinks that it's not the right way to do things and says something, and then you start to get these you do start to get people attacking each other. That's a great way to if we can all find a way to just remember that whenever we see something that we don't particularly like, open up a discussion about it rather than starting to attack people. The builders do a great job at the minute of all obviously collaborating, and that even we've got these different kingdoms, but there's builders building where the builders are in multiple kingdoms, or maybe 2 or 4 kingdoms, and they've always got their eye of helping the other one, and just builders taking their allocations and sending them into other people. We need, in my opinion, we need that particular thing to continue to happen. It's part of one of the things that's really made everything going on here at the minute stand out and work the way it is this collaboration, this helping each other out. And that's a really important thing. I think we all just need to keep an eye on and make sure we all keep doing it. And what for me, obviously, I love Pulse Chain. And And to see all you guys coming, to see, you know, obviously Pulsar's been around for a long time, but just to see, even yesterday we had a whole panel for hours on end, you know, Rags and the team and everybody already coming together. Whenever we get X28 and we go out further afield, I just have no doubt that there's going to be loads of collaboration between Pulse Chain and TitanX. And then when we get X28, it'll go out even further. But those core things that we're all doing together at the minute are the things that we definitely need to continue to do. And you can see how, you know, one person makes the wrong move. I think we've got the right ethos. Jake, you hit the nail on the head. We've got the right ethos behind us at the minute, and we're not an attacking community at the minute, and I really hope it stays that way.
That's really the focus, is meddling what we have now with the Kumbaya Happiness Days and to keep it going forward. That momentum is the key motivator to the build on TitanX positivity. And from the consumer side, you know, the ones that are not building, that are using, gaining, learning, and all the rest of that, to make sure that they stay positive instead of starting to attack, right? Everyone can choose what they want to do with their time, their money, and their effort, but everyone should try to be positive to do everything in life, regardless of what you choose.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's getting kind of boring out there in the world, you know, like cancel culture is boring, all this stuff. Like you're not a contrarian anymore to, you know, want to debate somebody, usually untactfully. So all that I think is like running its course out. And it really is pointing to the fact that like we should have been just building together the whole time, like in crypto, outside of crypto, you know, like what is the core thing is like, you know, get your own house in order, then you're in a position to help your neighbors, and then you're in a position to help your community. That's the same thing here. And so I think that this will continue to thrive as long as everyone kind of keeps their eye on the prize and remembers why we're here, and doesn't let, you know, the gains or the ego get in the way of that. And just stays true to like what we're trying to do and create, right? Which is like, it's like an oasis for everyone to come and have some version of profitability on the things that they're getting involved in so that they can better their quality of life. So they're looking for freedom. And I bring it back to this all the time. They're looking for freedom. And, you know, as I get older, that's all that matters to me is freedom. Freedom of movement, you know, with my physical body and staying in shape so that I can play with my kids. And, you know, I can do those things, you know, movement in terms of like, if a government starts doing something I don't like, then I can just leave and I can go get a house in a whole nother country, you know, wherever I want. I can go do those things. Right. And so having that freedom of movement, I think is huge. And I think a lot of people, that's really what they're looking for at the end of the day, is some variation of freedom for themselves. And right now, this is like the community that's providing that. And so, yeah, as long as we just stay true to that and keep building, I think it'll be fine.
The saying that we've heard Jake say before is just build the thing that you want. If you want to change the future, build it today. And to what you were saying, Jay, you know, the cancel culture, the constant pointing and blaming, like I feel like as a culture and as a whole, and kind of even in the crypto, that, to speak in pendulums from the book Reality Transurfing, that pendulum has swung really far, and it's gone too far the opposite direction. And if you build on the opposite end of that, on a positive side, something that people want to come to, an oasis, as you said, where it's like, oh, I'm so sick of this and I'm so sick of that, and the blaming and the infighting and the name calling, that you build something that's so darn attractive, people don't want to leave. It's kind of, you look back at the early like Google days and Facebook days when every company out there was trying to emulate them with the relaxed atmospheres and the ping pong and the pool tables and the offices and stuff like that. Everybody was trying to be like that because they saw how well those employees loved it and they thrived in that environment. And so we're just building that environment in crypto right now. The builders are loving it and they're thriving in it. The streamers are loving it and thriving in it. It's collaborative. People are working together for a common goal, which is growth and prosperity. And yeah, of course, there will be times when people take profits and move over. There will be 30, 40, 50% pullbacks that will test the mental resolve of people in the community. But as a whole, if the foundation of the community is already set that we stay positive, we just keep charging forward, we keep growing, we don't worry about pullbacks or a little bit of FUD stories or people taking profits, that's what you're supposed to do. We just move forward. Then the community will just be so attractive to everybody that nobody will want to leave. Yeah, okay. So take your profits, go play somewhere else. Great. We all do that. It's crypto. But I'm still going to stay here because I just like being in this type of environment. And I think we're already there. Now it's just a matter of preserving that through everybody embracing that ethos and just carrying it forward, carrying the torch forward.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Everybody here is, everybody here. There's definitely, a common theme of what we're all saying, about, and we've got the right type of people, the right type of mindsets. We've talked about this a few times. Jake kind of setting the standard of, what the way to think about things, the way to do things, and the people that he's attracted in are kind of following this exactly the same kind of values. So yeah, long may it last. I'm always trying to bring a little bit of positivity everywhere I go, and it's great to see that's really all we're kind of getting here at the minute. And long, like I said, long may it continue.
Yeah, the thing with crypto as well is this is not a place where you can put people in a cage. That's not how DeFi works. Because DeFi, you have your own private keys. You can go wherever the hell you want. It takes 1 second to switch over to something else. It takes 1 second to unfollow somebody on Twitter. The only reason you get people to stay is by making them want to stay, because it's the best place to be. So this is meritocracy in a nutshell. Because the opposite of meritocracy is, hey, this thing is good. Shut the fuck up. You're never going anywhere. Don't talk about anything else, etc. And then that's not meritocracy. That's just, this is my thing, therefore it's the best thing. That's not meritocracy. Thing is, this is my thing, it's the best thing because of XYZ. If you believe that, you can stay. But otherwise, you can leave. Like, DeFi is made for freedom. So the only way you get people to stay and focus on one thing is by making it the best thing. And the way to do that is by making it fair, by giving as much back to the user as humanly possible, because people go where they're treated best. Yeah, there's a lot. In DeFi, you cannot force people to stay. You can only get them to want to stay. And I think that's one big thing our community realized.
100%. Speaking of wanting to stay, I want to stay, but I gotta go. So it's been great hanging out with you guys this morning. Look forward to listening to the rest of the conference this afternoon. And huge shout out to the Accelerate team, to Bad Sports, to Irish Crypto, to all these people that have put this together. A tremendous amount of time and energy, communication. Working together behind the scenes is what has allowed this to happen, and it's been amazing. So shout out to you guys. Thank you for putting in the work. Everybody have a wonderful day.
All love, Jeff.
Thank you.
Just to add on what you guys are saying, I feel like
Dude, see, before you start, there was a perfect moment there when your camera froze. It looked like you'd fell asleep.
Oh, that was legendary right there. That was legendary.
I'm gonna blame that on internet connection. You can believe me whether that's true or not.
It's the rings of Gondor. It's the rings of Gondor.
This deep meditation on TitanX ethos. Yeah. No, just the way. I mean, it's pretty simple when you boil down to it. If you contribute to burning TitanX, you're supporting the whole ecosystem. That's really what it comes down to. And when everybody's doing that, they're supporting each other. Like this is the easiest way to collaborate. It's that simple. And I think that's very attractive. We're talking about kingdoms. Like, yeah, if one kingdom does really well, that's cool. That's great for them. They did a great job in their own kingdom, but it still supports all of the other kingdoms. Like it's easy. It's easy. Like every builder coming in is supporting it in some way. And even the flops, we haven't seen one yet, but it's inevitable. We're going to see a project show up and be a flop, but it's still going to burn, a few TitanX. It's still going to support the community while it's fading away into nothingness because it was a flop. It still did something, and for all the projects that are here to support the ecosystem and are burning TitanX, like they're going to stick around and they're going to do well, and then everybody else coming in will add to that effect. It's a beautiful thing to see. Like I want to say, like, how can it fail? Not financial advice, all that good stuff, but like the system is beautiful. Yeah,
agreed.
So
I love it. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I was going to say, what is the topic on this panel, actually? Tribalism?
Tribalism and how we kind of what's happened in the past that we can ensure doesn't really happen for us going into the future. You know, like it is all, look, everything's going great at the minute, and there's no reason for it to stop anytime soon. There really is no reason. Like you say, dude, everybody's working towards it. That does boil it down to a really simple thing for the builders. You know, if you're burning TitanX, you are helping everybody. And there's a lot of that already built into everything that's going on at the minute. You know, with TitanX, we had a panel yesterday about the first principles of crypto. You know, another big thing that we're not doing here is we don't have people coming in from the outside that are getting paid to come in here. We're not paying the KOLs to talk about us. We're not attracting a lot of bad attention at the minute. You know, you come here, you find Valhalla through your own research. So, you know, that's one thing, you know, cabals and KOLs and all this kind of stuff. Do we want to keep that out, or should we be engaging in, you know, paying KOLs and stuff like that as well? Anybody got any opinions on that? Where does that lead?
Oh, fuck no. Yeah, nah. We should never touch any of that shit, because I believe in energy, and a lot of that, like cabal, KOL shit, it's just demonic energy, and when you touch it, it just bad shit happens. You get labeled as bad shit, like just. Yeah, exactly. It's all just energy. You don't want to attract bad energy by touching it. You know, have you seen this movie Venom? Where like he touches like this black goo, and then all of a sudden he turns into like this venom monster and starts taking control of his body. That's what happens when you start doing bad shit. So I believe in karma heavy. But yeah, we don't need to pay KOLs. Like this ecosystem is good enough for people to just be like, holy shit, this is awesome. I want to talk about it. Because it's never been done before. It's completely unique. You've never seen a community like this that builds together. You have a bunch of communities that talk about that stuff, but to build, like Maximus J was saying, to build is like the biggest form of I show support for this community as it can get. Building is effort, building is work, building is time, building is money. Like you can't get more committed to an ecosystem. I want to support an ecosystem than building. So like we have so many good things in this ecosystem that I think people just naturally want to talk about it because it feels so pure. When something is pure, you don't feel bad talking about it. That's why these KOLs, when they get paid to talk about something, the reason why a lot of these protocols need to pay people to talk about them is because people don't want to talk about them through their own discovery. Because when they discover it, all they see is poison and fucking demonic energy and dumping and bad shit and shadow figures. They don't want to talk about it. So the only way it leaves their mouth is if they get paid for it. Yeah, that's the only reason people ever talk about stuff is when they get paid for it. At least for us, when they figure this out, they're like, shit, this is awesome. Check this out.
It's like, you know,
right.
We're not paying anybody. We're not getting paid by anybody. We're just here doing our thing. And like I put a tweet out the other day just saying, you know, the thing, the crypto people are looking for and what they're looking for in crypto, it is all here. You know, we've built the DeFi, we've built the systems. It's all here, right for people. If they just open their eyes, do a little bit of their own research, and when they find us, there's so much good stuff here that I hope we've got enough that they can come in. What's the opposite of black goo? They can touch TitanX and come in and see the green goo. Yeah, the green goo. But yeah, that was a really good analogy actually. You're right. Once you touch it, it just starts to infect you. And you know, even me, there's a few things going on at the minute in my dealings and my buildings and stuff, and you know, a few negative thoughts coming in and things that I'm having to deal with. And I'm just going, you know what? I don't want this energy coming in. Everything that we've got going on is so good. I don't want this energy coming. I don't need it. And it's something I'll personally I think I'll just deal with it today because everything's been so good so far. And I don't need this little negative effect niggling at me in the background. And that's just the perfect thing. It's that little bit of black goo starting to touch the edges of what I'm working on. And I need to slap that shit away and just keep the good vibes rolling.
Yeah, 100%.
We look at dude.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't think they ever really pay off for themselves to do stuff like that. Like paid endorsements and stuff is just so bad, man. We got to figure out a better model, like inside of marketing and advertising in general. Just because I don't know, like in all my years of crypto, like seeing the list get dumped of how much influencers charge and how much groups charge, et cetera, et cetera. It's like you can't tell me any of that's been worth it, man. Some of these guys charging hundreds of thousands of dollars to like send a tweet or to make a video about it. And then you know, you're right about the demonic loop to it too, because they're on the hook for something that they don't even know or believe in. And then they have to like go to its defense, and they feel like they have to, you know, defend it against arguments and debate and people coming at them in the comment section. It's just like the whole thing is just a bad idea. It's getting people to commit to things that they don't want to be committed to, and they're like slaving themselves for dollars. And it's just such a weird thing to do. And like, I just think there's better ways to do it. And obviously natural organic is the best way, because, you know, it can't really be stopped in the same way. You know, you can't pin anyone into a corner and trap them on details or data because they're here willingly. You know, you're not going to get them with a gotcha or a, you know, something like that. So yeah,
that's a good bit. Somebody in the chat asking what does KOL stand for, and Google's replies legendary: King of Lies. Haven't seen that one before.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you want to foster a community where people are solutions. I think when you disseminate a lot of this stuff, are the individuals, whether they're building or they're in the community just being a participant, are they solution oriented? And so when you have a bunch of people in good times providing solutions, or even bad times, how does the community come together and provide solutions? And so I think that when you could foster as leaders, I shouldn't just say one leader in particular, such as you, Jake, everyone is leaders. When you could foster an environment where everyone has their own subset little, community that they have, whether it's you, dude, and what you're building in the 280 or Morpheus and Rags, you have all these individuals spidering out. And are you providing solutions? Are you providing solutions for yourself? Are you providing solutions for what you're building? Are you providing solutions for the world and society? And so those are the hurdles that people need to overcome in their own mind. You know, are you providing solutions mentally to overcome, you know, the lack? There's an abundance out here. And when you could get into the solution orientation, that's when things really start to happen. And that's when people feel hopeful. And that's when they feel like, hey, I'm having fun in what I'm doing. And it looked like dude was having way too much fun earlier, you know, when he got frozen. But point is, like, when you have fun, you know, it increases those endorphins, and that's what helps make people. It's that attraction of energy, and energy is so powerful. Have solutions.
And I think also on top of that is that when you have good energy, you foster creativity and thinking out of the box and trying new things, and you don't get recycled back into the same addendum that's been done before. It's the same problem that we have fiat and all the rest of that. It's just failed experiments that are rubber banded over. When you have a good community, even if something isn't successful, as long as you experiment with it, you're on the right path, right? I mean, let's say you're a painter. You can eventually mix paint where it turns to mud, it turns brown, because you're trying too many things at once. But that's how you learn to mix paint, to actually get the exact color that you want. You're not going to get there just off the bat. That's why you have to learn from the past and apply into the future.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, if this keeps going, we're inviting people into a space that maybe crypto's never even seen before. Because if this, if the good times just keep going on, it's going to invite in even more and more people into the party. They're going to like relinquish their defaults and their kind of masks and their bullshit that they show up to the party with, and they're just going to show up naked like the rest of us, and we're going to continue to party. And then out of that, there's going to continue to be amazing things created, and that's going to propel the niche, the market forward, right? And so, yeah, like if this continues, who knows where it can possibly go? It can lead us to something that we've never even experienced before, and I think that's pretty exciting, like really exciting.
Jake you made a bold statement yesterday about, we're here to save DeFi, we're here to save crypto. You wanted to build the kind of thing that you wanted to see, and it was a bold statement. And I've watched you for a long time and been dealing with you for a long time, and the vision that once seemed absolutely fucking crazy, unachievable, way out there, is slowly creeping along and actually coming to reality. Can we save DeFi? That's a bold statement. Can we? What we're building here at the minute, is it what we're all looking for out of crypto and out of DeFi?
Yeah, I 100% believe that statement.
It was because you said yesterday that you believed you really believed it, and that's how you're not afraid to come out and say all these things.
Oh yeah, 100%. I 100% believe it. Oh, I just posted this quote from Elon Musk on Twitter. He says, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. You do the right thing because it's the right thing, even if your chance of succeeding is so low." Now, the thing, I've been announced since 2017, and I've only seen crypto get worse. It hasn't gotten better. There's only been a few innovations. Everything has gotten worse over time. It's more team allocations, it's more dumping, it's more winter muting, it's more shadow figures, it's more KOLs, it's more cabals. It's all just how do we extract and hurt people as much as possible to put as much money as possible in our pockets and fuck everybody. It's become more and more demonic.
That is so fucking true, man. I've only been here 3 years, and it's just seemed to get worse.
100%. It's like demonic energy is almost taken over our space. There's been a few innovations like Uniswap, and there's some other stuff. Like the innovations are rare. Most of it is just okay. What is a new twist on how we can extract as much value as possible out of this market? The latest rendition of that is fucking Bump Fun. That's like Satan in disguise. Like Bump Fun is the most scammy, ruggy, value extracting machine ever created. Even the Bump Fun founders, all the Solana that they get, they almost make $6 million a week. They dump back into fiat. It's fucking insane. Anyway, so we're saving DeFi by bringing it back to the user. We're bringing the user back into control. They can build what they want. Everything goes back to the user. Everything is fair. Everything is honest. Everything is transparent. Everything is fair launched. Everybody gets a fair opportunity. And something doesn't work, it's because the community did not pick it up. Because everything relies on the community here. So the risk is if the community disappears, well, everything disappears. That applies to everything in crypto. Here, that risk is just more amplified because everything is towards the community. So I truly believe that we're saving DeFi by bringing fair launch back. Now, props to Jack Levin, because he made a massive statement with Zen, even though that didn't really work out for the tokenomics. But he was a massive proponent for fair launch. So massive shout out to like Jack Levin for doing that. But some people, and it's primarily just highly competent people, because people can believe in fair launch, but unless a group of highly competent people get together and fight the good fight, nothing matters. So like there had to be a stand to save DeFi and bring it back to the user and bring everything back to fairness and give the power back to the users. And because DeFi, the initial intention of DeFi was to make it money blocks, have smart contracts, interoperate with each other, build on top of each other, make this utopia. Instead, what happened? It became cannibalism, people attacking each other. How can we value extract, dump as much as possible, enrich ourselves at the expense of the user? So I truly believe we're saving DeFi, which is why I can't shut up. What we're doing is incredible. We're saving the world, baby.
Oh yeah, well said, well said.
Yeah, and setting the foundation for how it grows too. Then that's the bigger point. Is like you were just saying. Jack did a very interesting thing, proof of fair launch. Now, in candle term, it's not the most robust. However, for the fundamental experiment of it, it was very robust, right? And so, like, that's where you can't pick and choose on, this and that. Like, you have to sit and, again, look at each strike of the ball on what it's doing, what you've learned, and how you can pivot and modify your next experience based on those lessons.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of momentum going on too. I mean, how is confidence and belief really instilled? It's like through the micro wins that you're experiencing as an individual every single day, every single month. How you showed up to a conversation, how you showed up to, getting through a certain thing, making a certain amount of money. Like those are all the little wins that are stacked up to a positive self-image, which creates confidence, which creates belief. And like there's a whole lot of that going on over the last year or so. So it's like, yeah, man, like the entire community should be getting stronger in terms of their belief system and their structure around like what we're doing, is because like the proof is there. Just look around and use that to fuel you and funnel, that confidence and that belief in yourself, right? To go out and talk about these things with such confidence, right?
Yeah, it's easy to talk about something when it's pure. That's a big one.
Even in a bear market, TitanX bear market, you see how many builders it's attracted because it's a grand idea. So that gives me confidence that when TitanX hits the bull market, if it's not already here, like that's just gonna amplify the amount of people showing up. Because we've had months of red candles basically. And we've still got plenty of people showing up and seeing the idea, seeing the vision, and wanting to be a part of it. Once hyperdeflation hits, and green candles get eyes on much more people, I think it's going to just be like a huge wave of people wanting to get in on this and see the value in it and start contributing to burning TitanX even more. Like,
dude, you've brought it. We've been kicking around here for quite a long time now, and you've definitely brought a lot of good vibes with you. Where did you actually come from in crypto? How did you find? I don't even know how you found TitanX, and I've been dealing with you for months and months.
I am that guy that's like, store cash under your mattress. Like, I don't trust the banks. Like I think self custody is huge, and like the freedom of, like, there's lots of control in our money system, and crypto to me brings freedom and brings that control back to the people. And that's huge to me, So I found Bitcoin in 2018, which was a beautiful time to find Bitcoin. Yeah, at 6K, 3K. And then it took me a minute to wrap my head around Ethereum, which was at $100. And it was like, when I understood what Ethereum was and programmable money and like Lego blocks, with money, like that just blew my mind. And I was instantly hooked on it. It's just, this is the future. There is no doubt in my mind. Blockchain technology is the future. Nobody can deny blockchain technology. People can deny Bitcoin, the value in Bitcoin, or but like Ethereum itself, it adds so much value, so much. And yeah, power back to the people, like, and the freedom for me to do what I want to do and not have to be a slave to the banks. It's, yeah. I think I got off topic there. I don't know. What was the original question?
How'd you of all that, then how did you end up finding TitanX?
A friend of mine just said, "Hey, you need to go start a TitanX miner." And I was like, "What the hell is TitanX?" But I went and looked at it and read the white paper before I jumped in, and was like, "This is amazing." And started some miners. And then it was like very quickly on, it was like, this is a beautiful system. I've been looking to build myself in something, and like I had ideas, and just TitanX really just threw me into it. Like I just felt very compelled that I needed to be a part of this.
You hadn't built before?
No. Helios was my first launch. Yeah. And I'm getting so much better at it. Like, I feel like a pro now with E280. I feel like I've worked out so many kinks on so many different levels. It's like each one of these projects are just getting better and better. And yeah, I'm loving it.
It's wild, dude, is that your friend that referred TitanX to you? He was also in Maximus J's trading group, because I know the story of the interconnectivity of all the rest of it. It's serendipitous, or a perfect storm on how sometimes things come together.
There's probably some mad number correlations there somebody can find to tie everybody together as well.
Well, I mean, it's also a perfect storm type scenario, right? I've said it since the beginning of Hex. Without COVID, no one would have, or Hex wouldn't have gone anywhere. No one was at home. No one was turning on their webcams. No one was learning to stream. No one was looking for a community. No one was looking for something to put their time, effort, energy, love, emotion, and connectivity to. And that was a perfect storm. Now we're in a different fold of a perfect storm as well. It's odd. But based on what you believe in, or what you understand, or what you digest, you can see that these paradigms do exist.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that with somebody that from the community was the one that got you in, dude. I completely forgot about that. How could I forget that?
Well, because I put two and two together between talking with the dude and then like the story that I heard about, like how I should be looking at Helios because of this and this and this. And
well, he just texted me the other day too, so I was like, shame on me. My brain.
Yeah, he's a longtime friend of mine. Like probably 20 years, something like that. So, and he's the person that he was showing me Bitcoin in 2017, showing, oh, it hit 20K. Oh my God. And I was like, I don't know much about this, but I don't have 20. You know, I was that same person that was like, well, I don't have 20K to buy a Bitcoin. Like, I didn't know that you could get fractions of it, you know, like all the typical stuff. But then like the crash came right after that. And then I was like, oh, this was 20K and now it's 6. Maybe now's the time I should start looking into this. What is this? What is this about?
You know,
and,
that is
never look back.
The fractionalized Bitcoin back in the day is the ultimate slap yourself in the face. However, it's the ultimate story to share what free knowledge, if you would have taken 10 minutes, just digest it a little bit, you would have learned so damn much. I think it was 2012, and I think Bitcoin was $1,000, dealing with shit with my career and all the rest. I'm like, I don't have $1,000. How fuck? I could have put $50 or $100 in a week. And you know what? If I would have done that, I would have known what the Ethereum ICO was, and I could have taken advantage of that. I would have known what Ant Shares was instead of Neo, taking advantage of that. I would have known so much more and gotten all my fuckeries that you have to screw up. Earlier, Jake was talking about a hardware wallet. A hardware wallet basically handles the signature and all the rest of that, and it obfuscates your keywords. But you have 3 vectors on what you will do. You will fuck up because you need to learn. You will be targeted, and then act of God. You have to kind of go through all of those or prepare for all of those because they will happen regardless. Act of God does not care. Oh, I smeared my seed words, and one is in a cabin down by the woods. Oh, a tornado hit it. Sorry. Or I stuck it in, wrote down my seed words and put it in a bank in New Orleans. Oh, Hurricane Katrina happened. Bye-bye. Hardware, you're like, oh, I trust my hardware wallet, but I don't have my seed words backed up to my hardware wallet because I think the hardware wallet itself is the obfuscation and the security. No, it's the handshake. It's your condom, if you will. Sorry for the press words, but it's correct on how you get in between here and there. So, going through those things is important to learn, and it's better to get through them early. But if you had taken a little bit of time early on, you'd have so much more wealth to be able to spend through that wisdom later on down the road.
Yeah, for me, I skipped the centralized exchanges. I went straight into DeFi. Like most people have to get into that centralized exchange. I mean, obviously I used it to turn fiat into crypto, but I was immediately getting hardware wallets and storing that locally. And I was following Antonopoulos. This guy, he is very smart, and I learned so much about crypto and how to safely store crypto through a lot of his videos. And to me, like that's a big thing that a lot of people miss. Like I hate to see a lot. I understand a lot of people are here for money, but there's a lot of people that's fine. You can be here for money, but there's a lot of people that are like, I don't give a shit about crypto and like the ethos that it brings. I'm just here to make money and then go back to my shit fiat system with it. And it's like they're missing the point completely. Like sure you're making money, but they're just missing the point. So that's really 100%. For me. Like
you got to start your own crypto political channel, dude. Start rallying the people.
Well, I mean, that's actually important that we start lobbying and do all the rest of it, regardless of what country you live in. I mean, we need to take the adamant of self-sovereignty, the adamant, I mean, hell, like I said before, with AI and everything that's changing very fast in that Occam's razor, DeFi and crypto is the counterbalance to that. So eventually they're going to have to swallow this pill because the genie's out of the bottle in both. And they can't ignore it at the end of the day. The genie's already out of the bottle. And just like I said, you could be a carrier pigeon maximalist, a fax machine maximalist, or get on board with the future. Like it will leave you behind, and it's just going to be faster and faster and faster.
Yo, 100%. I'm in the same boat as dude, because like I always see people exit crypto, and I'm like, where are you going? Like you're gonna come back at some point to because like the one of the things I've seen, and I've talked a lot about this on streams and stuff, is I used to do Airbnb. I did it for a little bit with a friend. Man, everything sucks dicks compared to crypto. Everybody's like, yeah, I'll do some real estate shit. Real estate sucks. It's a bunch of headaches. You have a bunch of renters, especially real estate, especially like Airbnbs and stuff, like short-term rentals. A bunch of random people in your house. There's people that throw parties, shit breaks. You need to go maintain it. Then you need to hire a cleaning crew. You think real estate is an investment, but then you realize, oh shit, it's a full-time job. And then everybody's like, hey, let me hire a manager to manage it. Okay, there goes your profit margin. Good job, dude. So like the thing with crypto is it's a much better form of asset class. It's self-custody. You can travel the world with it. With real estate, you're kind of fucking yourself up because you always keep some kind of legal control in a certain country. With crypto, as long as you have your seed words, boom, country to country to country. No one cares. Nobody's going to stop you at the airport. It's ultimate self-sovereignty. It's ultimate freedom. It's ultimate everything. If the chain holds your money, and the chain is decentralized across computers all across the world. No bank can shut it down. No government can shut it down. No paper can seize your crypto. Everything is on chain. You can go wherever you want. It has the best yield. Like nothing outperforms farms and liquidity providing. Liquidity providing is a way better form of real estate. Like everything gets beaten the living hell out of in crypto. The only thing that can outperform crypto is an early stage business or some kind of extremely high profit margin business where you can run massive ad budget through so you can scale up very heavy. But then once you hit a certain point of financial status in crypto, even a business cannot even outperform crypto. Because if you make 12% on a couple million or whatever, there's no word that can ever outperform crypto. So I've tried going out of crypto, and I'm like, well, this fucking sucks. This bank doesn't want to take my money. This bank is seizing. I need to verify here. And then I'm like, okay, I need multiple citizenships. I need everything in crypto. Like I've done the whole rabbit hole on self-sovereignty. And I have multiple citizenships, crypto, multiple places I live. Like self-sovereignty is not just crypto, it's just a part of it. It's how to essentially control the future of your finances. And that's a big portion of your life. So then the next question becomes is how do you self-sovereign as an individual? Do you want to be beholden to one government or one state or one idea or one belief system? Like that's, yeah, once you take the red pill on crypto, there's no way back. You can't leave.
Yeah.
This is the best place to be.
From whenever I first joined your mastermind, and you did say some things like this back then. And as somebody that owns and runs their own business and has done for a long time, and somebody that owns and manages their own properties and has done for a long time, I disagreed. But I don't anymore. I really don't anymore. Selling off every bit of property that I have at the minute, not just to go all in crypto, just because it's because it's fucking headache after headache after headache. So yeah, no, there was things that I definitely used to disagree with whenever you brought these things up. And you know, you're slightly younger than me, and I remember it almost felt like a slap in the face whenever you said about things like that the crypto will outperform any business. And at the time, you know, I have a pretty successful business, and it was like, you know what, fuck you, my business is successful. Crypto is not the only way. But the reality, and everybody here knows that the reality is that there, you know, if you get crypto right, there ain't nothing that's going to get you like I could make the gains. I'm hoping to make the gains that took me 15 years to make in business, and maybe 3-4 here in crypto.
I think another paradigm is go ahead, Jake.
Then the yield is the big part, because once you make money in crypto, you can yield on that money and live off the yield.
Well, on top of that,
liquidity provider farm. Yeah.
Well, on top of that, like if you run a business, you are doing a lot of work on top of things.
Let me ask him one quick question there. When you say about yield, okay, do you class things like, okay, there was a time a couple of years ago where I could have put a load of money in crypto and just stuck it in yield, and there was a fear there that even things you could put your money into that deemed safe could get rugged, and you could lose all this money that I worked hard to make. So, okay, take 100 grand, throw it in, take 100 grand, throw it in to get your 8% on. And it's not a lot of money, but that 100 grand risk for an 8 grand profit was always far too much risk for me to take. And just going in. Do you think there are things that are safer than that nowadays, or not?
Liquidity providing is by far the safe, because even with farms, you always run the risk of smart contract. But with liquidity providing, $2.6 trillion has ran through Uniswap contracts. Like that thing is as bulletproof as you can get something. So like liquidity providing is probably the best. Like if you want to be really safe, you take two stable coins, you liquidity provide them against each other in a tight range, and then that's your yield. And then if you do want to make plays, it's all on chain. It's literally just click, and boom, you're in the game again. So like, there's a bunch of ways you can just earn yield. I don't like, oh man, like shit like Celsius. I hate it with all my heart. It's just, hey, give me your money. I'll put it in my seed words, and then you can basically beg me to get it back. And I was like, fuck you, that's not crypto. What is this? Yeah.
Right.
So like liquidity providing is self-custody. It's your money. You put your money. It's you interacting with a smart contract. It's your private keys. Yeah, Uniswap liquidity providing is probably the safest, because even farms can sometimes go wrong. Titan Farms, for example, is super well audited, but you never really know, you know? So like, at least with Uniswap contracts, directly interacting with them through the LP pools on Uniswap, in my opinion, is as secure as you can get.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Yeah,
'cause it's
obviously
bulletproof.
not financial advice. Sorry about that,
Yeah.
Larry. Sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying it's bulletproof, right? It's tried and tested, right? And because of that, like when you're doing, let's just say stablecoin ARB, is made not the best APY, but it's secure APY, right? It's consistent, and you know what it's dealing with, two stable versions of itself. And so you're trading with that fractionalized ratio. And then from there, with that yield, you can adjust your risk parameters just like you would do with a 401k, right? You can choose to buy blue chips, you can choose to buy more exotic stocks, and you adjust your risk parameters based on how old you are, right? How long do you have to retirement? And then they rope those back. So those traditional finance statements are a building block to understand how you can choose those paradigms. And like to what you were saying earlier with Ali, as your businesses, with a business, you always have to do the work. Whereas in crypto, unless you're a builder, you can be a customer and a consumer and enjoy all the benefits of not having to do the heavy lifting yourself. You know, those that are building have extra work on their shoulders to do that kind of thing. But ideally, that's where we set the paradigm. But you yourself can, you know, create a business, pay yourself in crypto, and just like you were saying, be a multi-country and where you live, and still have that same successful use case as if you owned multiple different businesses. And then real estate yourself is like, well, do I want to have something to stay in, right? Because you can't sleep in your crypto. So yeah, having a property here or there is a good thing because you got to sleep somewhere. But it doesn't have to be your underlying thing of, oh, I got to pay the HOA. Oh, I got to mow the lawn. Oh, I got to water the grass. Oh, Karen from accounting is going to go yell at me, et cetera, et cetera. So you can take those things and splay it to however much effort you want to put into it. And that's the beautiful thing is that you can put in and get just as much out in this ecosystem without as much effort, but you can put in effort and take it to exponential ways to gain from it.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Yo,
Mike, what's going on, buddy?
Not too bad. I've been listening in a little bit here the last 5 minutes or so. So I like it, man. Liquidity providing, definitely on Uniswap. I think that's extremely. I mean, it's just amazing that that's even possible. I mean, I think it's like it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Uniswap. I mean, those three things. I mean, with all those three, I mean, those are like the three pillars of the whole crypto, essentially. I mean, Uniswap, that pillar needs to be there. And the other two, obviously, like those are the things which are there as well. So all in all, liquidity providing, I think, is extremely, extremely well done. And in general, crypto, man, it's like I've been to like third world countries and like crypto works there too. Like Binance peer-to-peer it works extremely well. Like if you go to like a third world country and if you and by the way, like if you really want to see the real exchange rate of a currency, just look at Binance peer-to-peer exchange rate to their currency. That's the real one. Normally in third world countries especially, the government is trying to set up like the official exchange rate. But if you look at the peer-to-peer Binance, that's actually the real one. You know, like in Argentina, you have the blue dollar rate, which is the street exchange rate. But actually, that's the real one, and you can get that on Binance peer-to-peer. Like it's absolutely amazing. I mean, obviously we're in crypto now, so absolutely amazing. Yeah.
I'm finding the LP providing within the TitanX ecosystem is just like so much more epic. Like the impermanent loss risk, I think, goes way down. Because like if you're providing LP with TitanX and HLX, if TitanX goes up in value, so does HLX. So you're not hitting that impermanent loss with your LP, and everything working together. yeah, it's way different than like providing LP with Ethereum, USDC, or whatever.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay,
Man, yeah,
so
I remember
go ahead.
when I first learned about liquidity providing, it's like seeing through the matrix. I was like, holy shit, I can make my money work for me. Man, that was like the biggest, because then I felt like I had control of my destiny. It gave me hope for the future. Because then the money I was working for in the real world, I was like, damn, I can take this money and I can make it work for me. I can create this little army of money soldiers operating on chain, earning money in an ethical way by providing a service to the market. I was like, God damn, your money, once you realize crypto and DeFi and liquidity providing, etc., it genuinely gives you hope for the future because you feel like your money can go way further. Instead of just, hey, I made $10,000 and it's $10,000 in the bank. You're like, I can take this $10,000. I can go here. This can make me 10 to 80% a year in a very safe liquidity position. And now that 10,000 is now 1,000 to 8,000 a year for the rest of your life. And that gave me hope for the future. And that, man, the moment I realized that, I was like, God damn, this is it. There's no other place to go. Crypto is it. Yeah.
Yeah, well said. All right, we're gonna start wrapping up here. Crypto Compassion, have you any sort of roundup thoughts on the discussion we've been having here today? Just anything that we've talked about, that DeFi is the future, the tribalism, anything at all you want to wrap up with?
Yeah, I do. We described a lot of things, and I think that we've kind of gone down the path. I mean, Jake, you talked about it. Ali, you talked about it. There's a lot of, and this isn't me shitting on real estate, but there's a lot of things out there, different assets that you think that they're free. You think you're sovereign, but really they're like golden handcuffs. You're enslaved to that particular thing. I mean, you feel like, man, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm making money, but you're really enslaved. And so the ethos of crypto and DeFi is when you find that you have the key to unenslave yourself. You have the ability to walk into this realm, and we're talking about liquidity providing, and you have the ability to participate in something that's sovereign, something where you can travel. You have the ability to move left, to move right, to move forward, to move countries, to provide to an ecosystem that pays you to be interactive with it. And so when you feel that freedom, that energy just expels from you. And that's what this is all about. This is about being free, sovereign. This is about, being in a collaborative environment where people are building and they're providing solutions. So keep providing solutions, keep building, and keep, being free. And don't accept anything less than being free.
Nice, man. Well said. Well said.
Hoorah!
Hoorah! we're all here fighting together. Jay?
Yeah, I think it's all kind of been said. We just keep doing our thing and building, and we're gonna get there. Like it's already there. We just now keep it and continue to scale it, and watch what magic is created out of all this craziness that's gonna occur over the next couple of years. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, sweet. All right, so look, we're going to move in. We're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. I just want to get a chat with Mike Dean about spaces and stuff before we actually go live over on the Twitter space. So look, all you guys that come up here for this panel, thanks very much for all your input. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed the conference so far, and tune in for the rest of the day.
All right. So, I mean, the thing is, like, I think we still have a bit of a few minutes before the spaces starts. So, I mean, we still have some few minutes. As long as when the space starts, then I need to get up. But then I think you guys can still stay up here.
Yeah, but we wanted to ask you a few questions. Is that okay? You got time?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm literally like trying. Yeah. I'm setting things up here, but yeah, fire away, my friend.
Yeah, just okay. So obviously we're switching over to one of your Twitter spaces, and they've been a bedrock, a solid bedrock, a foundation of the ecosystem